Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Stoke this evening for an evening of professional boxing, presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. We are now live and exclusive on Black Flash Promotions YouTube channel for this 7-bout card, and your officials are as follows. Your stewards in charge are Tom Scott and Liam Shaw. Your timekeepers at ringside are Jason Booth and Mark Dorgan. Your referees are Kevin Parker and Ryan Churchill. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our first contest of the evening. 4 rounds sanctioned in the welterweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Dublin, Ireland, Jacob Mara.
So we kick off this evening then in the welterweight division here at King's Hall in Stoke on Black Flash Promotions live on their YouTube page. The Irishman, his third outing of this year, made his debut in October 2024 and his last out last month on the Black Flash Promotions card in Wythenshawe. Steve Lillis, manager, matchmaker, and been in boxing many years, described him as a Dublin road warrior.
Please welcome his opponent from right here in Stoke-on-Trent, Jack Holston.
Fighting in his home city of Stoke then, at just 20 years old. Made his debut in April, got a win, a 4-rounder over Stephen Wallace at Stoke City FC. Has 40 as an amateur, 25 wins as he enters the ring to the sound of Oasis blasting out in the King's Hall here in Stoke. Huge hopes and expectations for this young prospect.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. 4 rounds sanctioned in the welterweight division. Your officials are timekeeper Jason Booth and referee Ryan Churchill. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white and black, and he weighed in at 150.8 pounds. He comes to the ring with 18 professional contests, and he comes to us from Dublin, Ireland. Please welcome Jacob Mara. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the white and red shorts, and he weighed in at 145.6 pounds. He comes to the ring unbeaten with 1 win against no defeats, and he comes from right here in Stoke-on-Trent. Please welcome Jack Holston.
Okay guys, you both know the rules, so keep it clean. When I say break, you stop boxing, take a step back, and most importantly, protect yourselves at all times.
Here we go then, delighted to get kicked off this evening with a home fighter, as I said, just 20 years old, Jack Holston, in the white, fighting out of the blue corner, and in white with the black trim is Jacob Mara, the man from Dublin. Alongside me this evening, Dan Murray, and it's great to get things underway here, Dan, with the home fighter.
Yeah, absolutely. I commentated on Jack back on his professional debut in April. Very impressed with him. He's quite a relaxed character, very, very confident as well. But like you said, Stacey, he's only 20 years old, still very early in his career, isn't he?
Looking really sharp though, and as you say, composed, fighting out of that southpaw stance, and got a good degree of amateur experience behind him with those 40 bouts, 25 wins, so it certainly helps when you turn over, Dan.
Yeah, it shows the confidence as well of Jack's team to put him in with a southpaw so early in his career as well.
Already seeing some nice variety off that lead hand, aren't we? Sometimes he's bringing the backhand up, sometimes it's a straight backhand. Good to see that variety early on.
Yeah, variety and confidence as well. And when he throws the jab from the hip, it's more difficult to read. I think he's using it really well. I like how he started. Stacey started on the front foot. He's quite confident and he's built his attacks up really well with that jab.
And he'll need that variety as well, because Mara tucks up really well, as you can see, high guard. And as I was mentioning before, Steve Lillis is a manager, matchmaker. He's had all sorts of roles in boxing and been involved for many, many years. Described him as a Dublin road warrior. He's heaped praise on him, saying that he's developing into a top away fighter and really making prospects work. So high praise indeed from a man who knows the game.
And you can see as well, because Jacob there is very well schooled. He's very good on his feet and he's holding his hands nice and high, and he's making Jack work for every shot, isn't he? Every bit of success that Jack's having, he's having to work for it.
Backhand of Holliston found its way through there, found a home. Just penetrating the guard of Mara.
What I'm impressed with Jack so far in his career is, like I say, only his second outing, but it's the confidence. He's showing no nerves. He's relaxed. He looks like he's enjoying himself in there, and that's allowing his best work to shine through.
He's only been stopped just once as Jacob Mara in his 18 outings. Lee Reeves, that was a third round stoppage in Belfast. And he'll know that he'll need to just circle to his right, just to avoid that backhand of Holliston. He's setting it up nicely behind that jab, and that sometimes when the lead hand is in that low position, Dan, it's out of your line of sight, isn't it? Especially with that high guard, and you flick it up like that can be difficult.
Absolutely, and when Jack's throwing the backhand, he's not putting too much into it as well, so it's hard to read.
Nice lead hook to finish that combination from Holliston. And he's enjoyed that first round, it would appear anyway.
Yeah, he looks confident. He's one to watch for the future. He looks very confident. He's only young. He's 20 years old, but he started that round very, very positively with a jab, and he had Jacob on the back foot. Jacob is a very skilled fighter. A nice high guard. He knows when to move, and the praise he's got from Steve Lillis is justified. And you just see the replay there. When Jack's landing that backhand, he's not trying to put too much into it. So he's carrying the jab hand quite low, and it's coming from the hip, so that's hard to read. But once he's landing it, he's just turning that right hand over nicely.
No, he's scheduled for 7 contests this evening. There's been lots of chopping and changing, as can often be the case in the sport of boxing, and sometimes at the very last minute. But huge credit to everybody who's managed to get the fight on, and particularly important for all of the fighters who spent money and time and energy preparing for tonight, and the fans also will be delighted that it's going ahead. And we'll talk you through what's to come in a minute, but second round underway. Now this one's scheduled for 4 threes in the welterweight division, and again, nice use of that lead hand from Holliston, Dan, to kick us off in this second round.
Yeah, when you have prospects coming through, you look at what they do well, and the prospects that use the jab well, you've got high hopes for them, because if Jack wasn't throwing the jab he was throwing tonight, if he was just kind of mixing it, trying to mix it with Jacob a little more, it'd be a completely different fight.
Joe Eccleston in his corner, of course, Bluestone Boxing Club, well represented tonight. Plenty of Jack's stablemates who we're going to see throughout this evening. Interesting that Jack's chosen the colour red for his team, because Joe doesn't like the colour red, which is why the home fighters are in blue, so not sure he'll be happy in a red t-shirt, but he won't mind if his fighter gets the win, that's for sure.
Just seen a little bit more from Jack in this round, just looking a bit more aggressive at times, but what I'm impressed with, he's having his attacks, he's going on the offence, but then he's going back to that jab and he's thinking about it and he's having a look.
He holds the space well as well, doesn't he? Just keeps the range and distance and controlling the pace of the fight as well. And Mara, you can see why Steve Lillis says he's developing well as an away fighter, because he really does tuck up well, doesn't take any risks, does he? But now and then, just launching a few shots to remind Jack to stay defensively savvy and switched on.
Yeah, and that's important for Jack. He's got to stay switched on here, because Jacob's accomplished. He throws his shots well. He lands a backhand there.
Another decent little backhand from Mara. And that's good, that's what you want in these, to test these prospects early doors in the start of the career, Dan, isn't it? Not just to tuck up, but to ask questions of them.
Yeah, look, Jack's going to get through this fight, but tonight it's not about this fight, it's about his development and what he takes from fights and how he develops and matures as a fighter. So you do want him to have a slight test, you do want Mara to throw some shots back, and that's exactly what's happening here. Getting a little bit rough on the inside there.
At least we know the ropes are tight, Dan. Thankful for us, because that was right in front of our commentary position. We don't want anyone falling out. I think it was last time we were here, wasn't it, when there was somebody, a rather large unit of a heavyweight that nearly landed on us. Cut there, sustained to the right eye. Can't tell if it's above or below as Jacob Mara just swipes a glove at it. He's aware that he's taken a nick there, so a bit of work for the corner to do. Can't see it from that camera angle, but it is on his right eye. We'll have a look in a minute, but let's see a bit more of the action here, Dan. And, you know, a nice, steady, in-control performance so far from Jack Corliston. He's boxing well within himself. Do you want to see that continue for the remainder of the fight at this halfway stage? Or do you want to see him try something different, go through the gears, intensity, bit of pressure? What would you be wanting from him now?
Look, I think Jack's had a really good couple of rounds. I think the first round he boxed really well behind that jab. Second round he continued with the good work behind the jab, but he's a little bit more aggressive, and I like that side to Jack. I don't want to see him go reckless, and so far it has been a mature performance and it's been quite a measured performance, but I would like to see him go through the gears a little bit in this third round now.
Saw a couple of those decent backhands from Mara there, just at the end of the replay, so capable of landing if he gets the chance. But he's just approaching with caution. That low lead hand, just poking and prodding with that jab. Jack Corliston.
I think when you've got a style like Jack's and you do carry that lead hand quite low, you've got to be sharp, you've got to be switched on at all times, because Mara's shown us a few times and he's coming back with shots, he is capable in there. Jack needs to stay switched on at all times.
A bit of defensive footwork from Mara there, just getting himself out of the corner. Just holding centre ring for now as Jack just looking to push him back.
What I would like to see from Jack is he's landing a jab really well to the head. He's just switched him downstairs, because Mara, he carries his hands quite high, which is great, but he's leaving his body open a little bit. Would like to see Jack switch it downstairs a little bit more.
Decent little exchanges between the two of them when they get at close range, isn't it, Dan, as well? Which, again, another good test for Jack.
What I like about Jack is he doesn't load up on his shots. He's not tense, he doesn't load up, he just lets them flow. And for your opponent, it makes it hard to read the shots. Nice body shot. Nice little feint there from Jack.
Nice little clipping lead hook just around the back of the glove of Mara, as again you just see a little bit of blood coming from that cut. Just open up again in this third round. Won't impede his vision though, so just continuing to tuck up, and he's taking these on the gloves, and I think that's why it's important, Dan, that perhaps he looks downstairs sometimes to...
Lovely.
There we go, right on cue. Lovely lead hand there, just sinking it beneath the elbow of Mara's guard. And there we go, we seem to back upstairs now and be a bit more effective to the head, and that's the importance, isn't it, of making someone drop the guard a little bit and creating those openings.
Yeah, absolutely. When you've got an opponent like Mara, they carry the hands quite high. It's important to feint. It's important to use your jab. But like you said, switch it downstairs. Now, Jack has shown us he's got body shots in his arsenal. He's landed some really good body shots. Just maybe want to see a little bit more like that left hook to the body there. And then bring something over the top as well. So when Mara drops his hands, body shot and then over the top with something.
Was that lovely? And it's the way he set that body shot up, wasn't it, Dan? He went upstairs first and then just whipped it downstairs. And again, that's something that he can perhaps bring in a little bit more if we're going to be critical. Although it's been a really dominant performance from him, but we're looking for areas of development, and that perhaps would be one of them. I mean, we saw more of that in the third round, that work to the body.
Yeah, so Jack's cornerman there, Joe Eccleston, he's got quite a stable now, and he says success breeds success, but Joe Eccleston, he's quite a meticulous coach, and he matches his fights carefully, and he wants to take something away from these fights, so he will go back to the gym, he will study the fight and pick little bits from it, and I think that might be one of them. Look, just mix your shots up a little bit. When you get an opponent in front of you that has got a high guard, mix it to the body, because he throws a really good body shot. He's accurate, he's effortless when he throws it. And it's been quite a mature performance here from Jack. It's hard to believe sometimes that he's only 20 years old and this is only his second fight, because it's quite a measured and a mature performance. It would be quite easy for a prospect to, once you've had a little bit of success with attack, is get a little bit greedy with it. But what I've been impressed with is he's mixed it up really well. He's jabbed well, he's boxed well, he's put some shots in. There you go. But he goes back to the jab. He doesn't forget his fundamentals.
Well, especially when there's perhaps what you might call added pressure to perform when you're on home soil. Made his debut at Stoke City FC, now at King's Hall in Stoke as well. But as you say, taking it in his stride, which says a lot about him, despite his young years, just 20 years old, as Dan's mentioned. That's an important part of it, Dan, isn't it? That mindset, that ability to cope with home pressure and wanting to prove yourself and all of that. Is seems to understand what's being asked of him by Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. What I think is important for young fighters up and coming as well is the momentum. And this is his second fight, first one in April, so they're keeping him nice and busy as well, which is great to get the momentum. But yeah, he's a measured fighter. I think his temperament is quite calm, and I think that's allowing him to perform tonight, because a lot of young fighters, second fight in front of your home crowd, we heard the cheer from him at the start. Sometimes it can make you react emotionally to situations, and you can start trying to do a little bit too much to impress the crowd. But no, it's top stuff tonight from Jack.
And you want to be busy, don't you? And a cut or an injury, a lovely uppercut there. He's just switched his feet, just stepped across and landed that uppercut bang on the chin. Lovely shot from Holliston. But yeah, you don't want to risk those cuts or injuries, because he can be active on these Black Flash promotion shows, and that's exactly what Joe has talked about, Dan, is building fighters,
yeah,
and allowing them the opportunity and the platform to grow and fulfill the potential as we reach the final stages of this one. That's been a dominant, well-controlled performance from Jack Holliston. Plenty to like about this young man. Jacob Mara, a good performance from him as well, did his job, asked questions of him, took well, and gave Holliston the rounds that are so important at the early stages of a fighter's career. But plenty to like about Jack Holliston. 2 fights now on home turf, and he's been impressive in both, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really impressed with him. He's got all the shots in the book. His temperament seems really good as well. It's a really good performance and a worthwhile performance. It's not just about getting these fighters out, it's about getting them in the right fights at the right time. It's all about the long-term progression. And Jack tonight, he controlled the fight, he controlled it with his jab, he mixed it up when needed to be. And like what we talked about, you go back to the gym now with Joe Eccleston, they'll watch the fight back and they'll make the necessary improvements, but very, very good performance.
Let's get the official announcement now from our MC this evening, Aki Kareem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. And a special thanks to NBE Brokers Limited for sponsoring this contest. We go to referee Ryan Churchill's scorecard. It reads 40 points to 36 points in favour of your winner. From Stoke-on-Trent,
A huge cheer, as you would expect, from all corners and even the balcony as well here at King's Hall in Stoke. As you would expect, the fans delighted in what is a very, very warm King's Hall, I might add, Dan. So fair play to all of the boxers performing under this heat, but that was a measured, controlled, dominant performance from Jack, and that's why he's deserving of that applause, as he has a quick photo there.
Yeah, and I think the reason it was such a dominant performance was the use of that jab. I think if Jack didn't use that jab, it might have been a different fight. Might give Jacob Mara opportunity to land some more shots. I mean, he did have bits of success, but it would give him an opportunity to be more in the fight. But Jack boxed really well. He jabbed, he controlled the fight, and also he controlled the distance as well. Just see from the replay there as well, is used his jab really well, but mixed his jab up as well. Sometimes there's a bit of a solid jab, sometimes he was flicking out, he's feinting with it, so really good performance.
Jack, congratulations. Did you feel the pressure coming into this one? It was your debut, and now you've had another fight on home turf here at King's Hall. Have you felt that pressure, or have you enjoyed that? Have you relished it?
I've enjoyed it. It's nice to be local at the show. You know what I mean? Like, I've not really felt the pressure, to be honest. But it's a bit nerve-wracking when there's all people following you and you've got your fans supporting you. Being local is just a bit more of an excitement, isn't it?
Well, you're just 20 years old. You have 40 as an amateur, just your second one now as a pro. So you're in the early stages. You were really controlled and dominant in that performance. Were you happy with that tonight?
Yeah, I'm happy. I paced myself quite a bit, which is good. Like, pace my movement, not rushing in, not falling in. But there's still bits that I need work on and confirm and be better at. So
what's the plan? I take it you've been out in April, you're out this month, of course. Is the aim to stay busy and be out? When can we perhaps see you out again before the end of the year?
Towards October time, I think I'll be out, hopefully. But I don't know yet. There might be an opportunity that comes before, there might be an opportunity a bit later.
Speaking of opportunities, anything you'd like to say to everyone who's come out to support you tonight? It was a great round of applause that you got, appreciating your victory when it was announced then.
I'd like to thank all my family and friends just coming to support me and just going out the way just to help me, and I benefit off it so much. Thank you.
Well, listen, great performance. We're looking forward to seeing you out again on Black Flash Promotions. Well done.
So you can see there the action we got tonight. Got a really good mixture tonight of up-and-coming prospects and established fighters. Top of the bill, Zelfa Barrett, well-known name in British boxing. And his career started here and matured at Black Flash Promotion, so sort of like the up-and-coming fighters, the fighters on the bill tonight, they can see the progression, they can see the path from debut to getting onto these big shows and fighting for major titles, because that's something what Zelfa Barrett has done himself, and he's come back tonight, he's top of the bill. Obviously it's scheduled for a title and that unfortunately fell through, but it's a delight to have him
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next contest of the evening, 4 rounds sanctioned in the featherweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Honduras, Gio Fernando Duran.
Pushing on with the action here then at King's Hall in Stoke, live on Black Flash Promotions YouTubers. Jairo Fernando Duran enters the ring. The Honduran, who resides in Spain, 35 years old. He's had 62 bouts. And that's not a bad boxing surname, Dan Murray, is it, Roberto Duran? The 4-weight world champion, Panamanian. So if he's anything like him, we've got a treat in store.
Yeah, Army Liverland will be hoping he's not too much like the original Duran.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from Stoke-on-Trent. He is the one-man Army Liverland.
One more and more people just want more and more freedom and love. What is looking for? One more and more people just want more and more freedom and love. What is looking for? Free from desire. Modern senses purified. Free from desire. Modern senses purified. Free from desire. Modern senses purified. Free from desire.
From desire rings out across this King's Hall in Stoke. We talked about a great surname in Duran, and what a great alias, nickname, the one-man army, as Army Liverland in silver enters the ring, the 19-year-old from Stoke, ready to put on a big performance for this passionate crowd here to support him this evening.
This contest is presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. And this evening we are partnered with Cooley Installations, Manchester Joinery and Four Corners. This contest is 4 rounds of boxing in the featherweight division, and your officials. Your timekeeper will be Mark Gordon, and your referee in charge of the action is Ryan Churchill. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white shorts and weighed in at 131.9 pounds. He comes to the ring with 62 contests, including 15 wins and 1 draw, and 14 of his 15 wins come by way of knockout. From San Pedro Sula, Honduras, please welcome Jairo Fernando Duran. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the silver and white shorts, and he weighed in at 131 pounds even. He comes to the ring unbeaten, 1 win against no defeats, and he comes from right here in Stoke-on-Trent. He is the one-man Army.
Okay guys, you both know the rules, so keep it clean. When I say break, you stop boxing, take a step back immediately. Most importantly, protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
So our second bout of the evening then, featherweight division, scheduled for 4 threes. Army Liverland in silver, fighting out of the blue corner. Jairo Fernando Duran in white, fighting out of the red corner. Saw some flashy moments on his debut from Liverland. Made his debut alongside Jack Colliston, who we've just seen at Stoke City in April against Michael Madman Mooney. That's not an easy debut, that's for sure, but came through it with a points win. Uses his feet well, in and out. He has that low lead hand, and be a good test for him here with Duran. He's seasoned, the 35-year-old. 62 bouts he's got. He's had a string of losses. got stopped last month in the first round in Glasgow, but
I was impressed with Army Liverland on his debut. After the fight, talking to him, he wasn't too happy with his performance, but I thought it was a really good performance. Very, very confident lad, very confident fighter.
Duran fighting out of that southpaw position initially, but in the orthodox position now, so showing that he can mix it up a little bit. That high guard, just bouncing in and out up on his toes, the Honduran.
I like how Army Liverland's using that jab to the body. He landed a straight right to the body as well. Just nice measured body shots.
He's just trying to figure it out because he's a bit of a puzzle, Duran, isn't he? Bounces up on his toes sometimes, tucks up. He can be a little bit unpredictable at times. So he's just trying to figure out just how to find the shots that connect. A nice little combination there from Liverland. That'll give him some confidence.
Yeah, Liverland's just trying to read his rhythm a little bit. Like you said, Duran's a little bit all over the place. But I think Army so far, he's using the jab well. He's stabbing to the body. And he looks very, very switched on here, does Army Liverland.
Yeah, switches his stance frequently, does Duran. Switches his feet, switches his stances. Different attacks. Sometimes he's countering, sometimes he's launching himself forward. So Liverland now getting a chance to plant his feet and tee off a bit though. Some nice sharp combinations. Just a little shot from Duran in between that though, just to give him a reminder.
Very, very impressive so far from Liverland, how he's controlling the fight. And he's controlling with that jab. And what's really impressive is not just his offensive work, it's his defensive work. So when he's going back, he's just leaving that jab arm out, just sort of strong arming him. And it's preventing Duran from launching any meaningful attacks.
Mixing the lead hand up there, just stabbing it to the body, Liverland. Taking his time here. Not falling for any of the antics from Duran. Is sticking to his own game plan and just keeping that range and distance, using his feet well to come in and out of range. It's a round to try and suss him out because he is quite a difficult one to suss out, but I think he did that really well in that opening round, Liverland.
Yeah, I think it was an excellent opening round from Army Liverland. It was pretty faultless, to be honest. Thought he used his jab really well. I think he used his feet well. Very impressed with the body work. You just see on the replay there, the jab to the body. I would expect Army Liverland to go through the gears a little bit here. He looks like he's got it in him. Very confident lad, and we saw elements of it in that first round.
Hi-ho silver lining's quite an appropriate one for someone in an entirely silver kit in the case of Army Liverland, isn't it? Don't know if that was deliberate, but good work from the DJ on that one. As we enter the second round now, Liverland up on his toes, ready to go. That tight guard of Duran again, as he just sits down in that southpaw position, up on his toes now, bouncing in and out. Liverland though, again just taking his time, picking his shots, staying composed. Just 19 years old, remember. Represented Beartown in Congleton as an amateur. He won the gold at the Manchester Box Cup and Riviera Box Cup as well. So only 19, but a bit of amateur experience behind him as Duran just tucks up and weathers that little storm from Liverland. As you see a bit of that hand speed now on display.
Yeah, really good hand speed from Army Liverland, but also patience as well. So when Duran's bouncing up and down and moving about, Liverland's just staying there. He's just waiting for him to stop the movement, and then he's launching his attack, which is quite mature.
Well, it's a good mix of attack, isn't it? Because we've seen that blistering hand speed, but then also he's willing to sit down and sink in some of the shots, and it's good to have a bit of both, isn't it? Nice combination again as he just stepped in, brought his feet with him to land that lead hook. Duran now just being smart here, isn't he? Just deflecting and distracting by being up on his toes, bouncing, switching stance, everything he can just to prevent Liverland from finding a rhythm. Because once he sets his feet, he can let those combinations go, and nothing Duran can do, especially at 35 years old. I mean, 16 years his senior. He just needs to tuck up when those fast hands come flying at him, Dan.
Yeah, he just needs to use all of his experience at the minute, because he can't match Liverland in any department at the moment. So he's just going to try and get his way through it and sort of old man his way through it. But Liverland at the minute, he's looking great. He's using his jab well, blistering hand speed.
Got deceptively long levers, Liverland, as well. Look at the range that he gets on that lead hand.
Would probably like Liverland to bring the uppercut in. I think that'd be a good shot. I think to land. But so far, really good. Faultless, I would say.
He's a tricky customer, Duran, isn't he? And you can see how he's only been stopped 7 times in his 46, and 62 bouts is plenty of experience, and you can see all of that experience here as he's just trying to slow the youngster down, stop him getting any real momentum. Smart work from him.
And it's a tempo that Liverland fights at. So Duran is trying to slow it down, but Liverland's not allowing him to. He's either jabbing or he's feinting, and he's keeping him busy.
Duran just allowing him to work away to the body there, and took that well, to be fair, because it landed right in the solar plexus and he loaded up with it. So that's a testament to the conditioning of Duran for sure.
I also think that was a sign of Duran not really knowing what to do. I don't think he knows what to do with Liverland. I don't think he can match him in any department. Liverland so far has been pretty much perfect, and I think Duran's struggling a little bit with that, and I think frustration of putting his hands up there was just a little sign of he doesn't really know what to do. He's out of ideas. I don't think Liverland's hurting him, but I think he's bamboozling him. He's confusing him. Hand speed's blistering, and I think he's boxing really well. I think he's feinting well. He's using his feet really well.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 3.
Just ducking his head low there, Duran, just to try and evade some of those shots. But when those fast hands of Liverland get going, can't do a lot but tuck up. But every now and then, more of a cameo role really, but he is finding a way through here and there, Duran, isn't he?
Yeah, I think
he's just
Duran...
got to time those shots and find the openings, and he's having a go here, isn't he? Trading with him.
Yeah, I think Duran was a little out of ideas at the end of that second round. I think what he's done is he's come out this round and he's just trying to mix it a bit. He's trying to force it a little bit. And Army Liverland is standing there with him. He's trading with him and he's mixing it up. Would like to see that uppercut. If Liverland could land that uppercut when he dips his hands low or dips his head low, I think he'd have some success.
Working to the body in those last couple of combinations, Liverland really dipped his knees and sunk those shots in beneath the elbows of Duran. Just continuing to work away, and it's a great work ethic from Liverland. He's not stopped applying the pressure, Dan, has he?
No, he's not, and Duran put a lot of effort into the first minute of this round, and it looks like it's possibly taken a little bit out of him, but he had to do something. I felt he was just on the back foot and he was just being outboxed, he was being outworked. So he came in this third round and he tried something different. He tried to throw some power shots, but Liverland stood there with him and traded with him. And now Liverland's going to up the pace again, I believe.
And sometimes away fighters just fancy that. They like to mix it, they like to trade, they like a bit of a scrap. Perhaps not every minute of every round, obviously, every week, but now and then they like to put it on him, and perhaps we're seeing a bit of that from Duran here, because he himself is trying to sink some shots to the body, perhaps in an attempt to slow this youngster down, but I don't think there'll be any deterring Liverland as he just continues to come forward and pepper Duran.
Yeah, I think Duran was hoping it was going to come out in this round, throw some hard shots, and maybe Liverland would go on the back foot, but that's not happened. If anything, Liverland's holding his feet a little bit, and he's enjoying the exchanges.
More wild, speculative swings from Duran than measured, considered shots, but He's bringing something to the table, that's for sure, and credit to him for that, as he just pours out a jab towards Litherland. Litherland just settles his feet now, just pouring out with his lead hand. Considerably longer reach than Durant. Nice switch of the feet as he just pivots round there, Litherland. And that's the first time we've seen that, and he is good with his feet, sort of coming in and out of range, but that was good to see him just changing the angle to just set up different shots there at mid to close range, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so, because Durant's feet's quite slow, quite planted with his feet, so Litherland just changing the angle there, just switching his feet. If he continues to do that in this fourth round, I don't think Durant will be able to stay with him. Just watching the replay there, Litherland just holding his feet, mixing it up with him. And we talk a lot about Stacey, about getting the right fights at the right time. This is only Army Litherland's second fight. It's a good fight for him, isn't it? It's a good fight for his progression.
It absolutely is. I mean, somebody with this much experience is just ideal for Litherland. Doesn't have enormous power. He's not a threat in that way. He is asking some questions of him, but also allowing Litherland to go through his repertoire, isn't he, and look good, which he has. You know, he's been able to let those hands go, whether it's hand speed or set up some of his bigger shots upstairs and downstairs. It's been a good display from him, and hopefully he'll be happy with this one. He said he wasn't too happy after his debut, despite some flashy moments which were impressive, but we'll talk to him after and see if he was happier. But final 2.5 minutes to go as he's just working, stabbing that lead hand to the body. Litherland just edging in with his feet.
Maybe it's a characteristic of Joe Eccleston's fighters, but his temperament as well. He's been quite measured. He's not tried to be too greedy with it. Only 19 years old, but quite a mature performance.
Keen to show off his conditioning and ability to take shots around the torso, Duran, apparently. Just again, inviting Litherland to whack into the body. But he has absorbed them, to be fair to him. Not something you'd necessarily recommend as he wades in with a couple of makers of his own.
Yeah, Duran's a tough, durable fighter. Army Litherland has boxed a perfect fight here. It's a box fight. He's boxed when he needs to box. He's fought when he's needs to fight. But it's been impressive. I look forward to seeing Army Litherland in longer fights when he gets to 6-8 rounds and he gets the opportunity to wear people down. Because what he does is he's feinting, he's working all the time. He's making you as his opponent work hard as well as landing nice sharp shots. And I think once Army starts getting up to 6-8 rounders, I think that's when he'll start stopping people.
There's a couple of shots just in the last exchanges, as you were talking there, Dan, from Duran that made the way through. Nothing to trouble Army Litherland, but of course the volume, the accuracy and the quality all coming from Litherland in this round, as well as the previous three. Another dominant performance. I'm sure Joe Eccleston will be happy with the way that he's progressing. Just takes a little walk and drops his hands now. Nice and relaxed shoulders. Just 19 years old, the man from Stoke, and what a great opportunity for him to showcase his capabilities in front of a home crowd. Once you've had a taste of that, Dan, you want more of it, don't you? You want to perform, you want to put on your best, you want to show everyone what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Army Litherland talking to him, very, very confident lad, and I think he thrives on that. I think he thrives on putting on a bit of a show, and I think he's done that tonight. I think he's been in there with a durable, tough opponent, and I think he's done well. I think he's boxed really well. He's taken all 4 rounds, but I think that doesn't tell the full story. I think he's boxed really well. He's controlled it with his jab, good body shots, very, very good hand speed, but also that temperament as well. We talk about young fighters coming through, Stacey. His temperament was brilliant. He didn't get too greedy. He boxed when he needed to box and he fought when he needed to fight.
A real character is Jairo Fernando Duran, just doing his own little lap of honour. Not to rapturous applause, it has to be said, but we appreciated it, Dan, and gave him a smile, didn't we? But Army Litherland just adding his silver jacket now to those silver shorts as we await the official announcement for your MC this evening, Aki Karim. Plenty of action to come here on Black Flash Promotions YouTube. Lewis Profit up next, another under the tutelage of Joe Eccleston. We've got Hugh Malone on the way after that. Plenty of action to come.
Please show your appreciation for both boxers. After 4 rounds of boxing, we go to Ryan Churchill's scorecard. It reads 40 points to 36 points in favour of your winner from Stoke-on-Trent, the one man, Army Litherland.
Well, a nice show of respect between the two fighters, and that was never in doubt, Dan, but it still feels good to hear your name called and have your arm raised. It feels even better when it's in your hometown, and to an applause like that as he runs towards the camera. There we go, Army Litherland. We'll see what he's got to say after this, but another successful performance from the youngster.
Just see the replay there. What I was really impressed with was the bodywork. Little stab downstairs with a jab. And he doesn't try and get too greedy with the bodywork. He doesn't try and put too much into those body shots. And that allows him to land them so accurately and so crisp. But it's all set up from them headshots. So he taps to the head, he jabs the head, then whips him to the body. Very, very impressive stuff. I think he's a showman. I think he's one to watch.
Yeah, it's good, you know. Tough opponent, you know, he had knockout power, 15 wins, 14 by knockout, so the risk is always there. Like, I probably had the hardest match of probably anyone on the show, to be honest. But I want the hard match. He's still doing a bit of weight away. I'm a natural sort of bantamweight, maybe a featherweight push, and I'm fighting it super feather lightweight. You know what I mean? My last fight I thought about welterweight, you know, it's no different for me, but I'm happy with it. I want to get the finish, as you can tell. I was trying to put the punches on him, but it comes and it comes. It doesn't just give me a bit more experience not to go for the kill as much.
Well, listen, he was a tricky customer, wasn't he? He knew every trick in the book. He's seasoned, he's experienced, over 60 bouts that he's had in his 16 years, your senior as well. How happy are you with the way that you performed tonight?
I'm happy with it. It's not the best performance. I always believe I need to do better than that all the time. It'll be asked on the tape about the stoppage, but it'll come next time around in the third fight. I won't get a stoppage. I'll get a straight knockout, probably first round.
That hand speed though, Army, I mean, you were sinking your shots and setting your feet as well, but when you let your hands go, you just couldn't live with that blistering hand speed.
Yeah, people know me more from my speed. I can bang. I know he didn't see my putting the combinations in, but I'm a bit different. I'm quick as well, so next person can take it next time around.
We have to ask you what's next, what's the plan?
Obviously still only 19, it's like years and years, so just keep it calm at the ladder, get more few fights in, start calling some bigger names out, get some big fish in. I just believe I'm just better than everyone. I just believe it. I don't think there's a man in my weight who can handle me, to be honest.
Well, you got a great reception when you came out to Freed from Desire. Great round of applause when you won. Is there anything you'd like to say to everyone who's come out to support you this evening?
That song was for my nan. She passed away a couple of weeks ago. We buried her on Tuesday, so that was for her. Love you, Nan. Love you.
That's lovely to hear, and I'm sure she'll be incredibly proud of you. Well done, Army. We'll look forward to seeing you out again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next contest of the evening. 4 rounds sanctioned in the cruiserweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Bradford. He is the Bradford Mayweather, Ryan Laborn.
I'm still longing for what it was. Salt bills on the table for your unrequited love. I would be nothing.
Ryan Laborn then, 36-year-old from Bradford. 43 losses, 2 draws on his record, been stopped 10 times in the bright orange boots. Coming off 2 losses by stoppage. They're wanting to see the distance and hear the final bell tonight.
His opponent from right here in Stoke-on-Trent, lethal Lewis Profit.
For those iconic drums of Phil Collins in the air tonight. That might be the longest ring walk we ever see at King's Hall in Stoke, by the way. Perhaps could do with a shortened version of that in future, but we see him now, Lewis Profit, all in white, as he skips his way to the ring. 2-0, the 24-year-old. Lethal Lewis Profit, another fighter on home soil in the cruiserweight division.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. We are live on Black Flash Promotions YouTube channel for this contest. 4 rounds sanctioned in the cruiserweight division. Your officials, timekeeper will be Mark Dolgan, and your referee in charge of the action is Ryan Churchill. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white shorts and he weighed in at 211.6 pounds. He comes to the ring with 45 professional contests, and he is the Bradford Mayweather, Ryan Laborn. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the white and black shorts and he weighed in at 201 pounds even. He comes to the ring unbeaten. 2 wins against no defeats. And he comes from right here in Stoke-on-Trent. Please welcome Lethal Lewis Profit.
Okay, guys, you both know the rules, so keep it clean, keep your shots up, and when I say break, just stop watching, take a step back, take your shots up all times.
So we've gone from featherweight to cruiser, so you will notice, of course, a huge difference in the size of these men and the power as well. Scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds, this one in the cruiserweight division. Lewis Profit made his debut in November last year. You and I were here for that one, Dan, commentating, weren't we?
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with Lewis Profit. Well-schooled fighter, quite upright, solid fighter.
He's had another win since then, of course, in April at Stoke City. Signed with Black Flash Promotions in January, so he'll be keen to continue to put on good performances. But we know all about the man opposite in white with the very, very bright, striking orange boots. Ryan LeBourne, the man from Bradford. He's experienced, but he is coming off 2 losses by stoppage. One at the hands of Will Howe in April, and then Derek Osadola, second round stoppage at Wembley Arena. I was there for that one for Adam Azim and Claggett, and so he'll be wanting to make sure he hears the final bell. Fighting in the white shorts with the black waistband. Just finding a way through the guard there, Lewis Profit, as he's just tucking up his LeBourne, just falling short there as he wades across the ring, just trying to put a bit of pressure on Profit. But again, that composure that we've seen from Joe Eccleston's fighters, perhaps something that's throughout the stable, as he just again, nice sharp 1-2. LeBourne tucking up, and I think you can tell he's respecting the power of Lewis Profit, Dan.
Yeah, I think Lewis Profit, straight on the front foot. I think he'd be looking for a stoppage tonight. He's that sort of character. He's no nonsense. He stands in front of you.
He's very serious, business-like, isn't he, when he's in there? And everyone expresses himself differently, but he really is a get-down-to-business type, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's no razzmatazz with him. He gets on the front foot. He establishes that jab. He's very solid fighter. Works well behind that jab.
And he does all the basics really well. You can see those solid jabs and the 1-2s, getting full extension on them. Really gets his body weight behind them, turns his back foot and his back hip in and generates that power, doesn't he? And it, as I say, LeBourne got his work cut out here tonight.
Yeah, LeBourne will be looking to try and slow the pace down, be trying to go for a little walk around the ring, but Lewis Profit very, very good at cutting down the ring. I think the success for Lewis Profit tonight, if he wants to get the stoppage, would be to the body.
Nice work with that lead hand upstairs and then just sinking it in downstairs from Lewis Profit. Just bringing up the backhand now as well, as he's just circling round to his right, his Profit, just to try and find and negotiate an opening. Touch of gloves from the two, and another solid first round from Profit, which we've come to expect from his first 2 outings as a professional.
Yeah, good round from Lewis Profit. I think he'll be happy he could close the distance down and he could land his shots. He's not having to go looking for LeBourne. I don't think LeBourne's got the quickest feet, and I think Lewis Profit's going to take advantage of that. I think the second round he's going to close the distance even more, and he's going to go for his repertoire of shots. Like I say, I think Lewis Profit tonight will go for the stoppage. I think he will try to make a statement. He's had the 2 fights, they've both gone the distance. I think tonight he's going to try and make a statement, and I think if he is going to do that, I think he'd be kind of well to go to the body. I think Lewis Profit really good, really jab to the head, nice right hand to the head, nice and compact, but I think once he starts putting the body shots in, I think LeBourne will start to struggle.
Second half, round 2.
Thankfully remembering on the last minute to replace the mouth guard of Ryan LeBourne. You don't want to be in against anybody, but certainly not a big puncher like Profit without your gum shield in. As he just steps in with his head low, LeBourne, and the two in a tangle. Working well behind that jab, Lewis Profit. Sometimes just flicks it out, sometimes really gets his body weight behind it, but he does mix it up. Lovely lead hook to the body. Just dipped his left shoulder there, Lewis Profit, and starting to have an accumulative toll on Ryan LeBourne, this work from the heavy-handed Lewis Profit.
And it's all coming from that jab. It's keeping LeBourne offset a little bit. He's so accurate with that jab, Lewis Profit. And like what you said, Stacey, he mixes it up quite well, so sometimes he'll flick it out, sometimes it's a solid jab. It just makes it hard to read, but he's very, very accurate with it.
Not giving Le Bon a sniff either, has he? He's been limited to just launching himself across the ring and falling short. Just clipped Lewis Profit with that flailing backhand though, did Ryan Le Bon. And he's a big man, so you don't want him landing flush on you. But Profit just up on his toes, looking to fashion an opening. All of these shots, you can hear them landing, Dan, especially from us real close here at ringside. They're really thudding shots, aren't they?
Yeah, really thudding shots, and Lewis Profit is showing respect to Le Bon here. And it's the right thing to do because he's a heavy man, he's heavy-handed, so you have got to respect him, and Lewis Profit's showing a good level of respect there, and he's just thinking about how he's going to close the distance, how he's going to get inside.
He's got a real solid build, hasn't it, Le Bon? But as I say, he's been stopped 10 times in his 43 losses, and 2 of them have been in his last 2 outings, so perhaps Lewis Profit will fancy adding a 3rd one to that. I feel like the pace has perhaps just slowed a little bit in this round, but still really good solid work from Profit.
Yeah, I was expecting Lewis to go through the gears a little bit in this round and up the tempo, but he's taken more of a measured approach, and it is a 6-round fight, so he has got the time to do that. But again, it shows the maturity. He's still a young man, he's still early in his career, Lewis Profit. And he's showing that level of maturity, what you want to see from fighters in the early part of the career.
Certainly is. Just coming towards the end of the 2nd round and the halfway stage of this one, scheduled for 4 threes, as Profit again just sticking out that long lever, and that jab in itself is really difficult to deal with. When that's being pummeled into your face again and again and again, Dan, it really is difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's sickening because Lewis as well, he's timing the jab really well. So when Le Bon is about to launch an attack, that jab's coming out and he's just nullifying his attacks. Very, very accurate with it. Nice sharp jab.
See that lovely jab connecting there, just snapping back the head of Le Bon. Plenty of action on the way here this evening from King's Hall in Stoke. All live on Black Flash Promotions YouTube. Huey Malone up next. It's in the super lightweight division. That one will be 6 3-minute rounds against Carlos Torres. So that on the way. But business to deal with still for Lewis Profit here in the cruiser division. And Ryan Le Bon will want to hear the final bell after those 2 stoppages, and it's important for away fighters not to take too many of those, because the board of course start having a word, don't they, if they're getting a few too many stoppages down. So important for him to hear the final bell tonight, as he just takes a cautious approach, just trying to keep Lewis Profit from finding too much rhythm here.
Yeah, Le Bon trying to use all his experience there. He's moving quite a lot, he's feinting, moving his feet a little bit.
And lots of upper body movement from him, as he's just dipping his shoulder and leaning side to side, and now gets to the safest spot you possibly can be, which is right on the chest, and just tangles Lewis Profit up and buys himself a few more seconds and slows things down. Smart work from Le Bon here though, just feinting, lots of head movement, and then just tying Profit up. Just how long referee round Churchill will allow him to do that, we don't know, but not taking too much punishment and not getting stopped is the order of the day for Le Bon. He's got to do what he's got to do to ensure that, as he just takes that stiff jab on the gloves.
And I think if you are Le Bon, you're going to try and close that distance, because that jab from Lewis Profit's fantastic jab, nice and long and sharp. You need to try and get inside that.
And presumably that's been the instructions from the corner from Le Bon, because we've seen a lot more head movement from him in this round. Just dipping from his torso, making it more difficult for Lewis Profit to set himself, and it's made it a little bit more disjointed, this one, but put some shots together now, does Profit, but Le Bon not allowing him to capitalise on that and ties him up once again.
Look, it's been a good performance from Lewis. It's been measured, it's been dominant. I just would have liked to see a little bit more. I think he's been very measured, he's controlled it. It's been a very controlled performance, but I just feel that when he goes through the gears a little bit, he's looked very, very dangerous in there. I would probably just like to see a little bit more, especially downstairs.
Again, just mixing it up, LeBon, and trying to make it difficult for Lewis to set himself. He was just leaving out that lead hand there, wasn't he, a moment ago? And again, stepping in, tying him up. It's smart work from him, isn't it? Potentially a bit frustrating for Lewis and not able to show his best in this round, but from LeBon's point of view, done exactly what he needed to.
Yeah, first 2 rounds, LeBon just stood off a little bit and he allowed Lewis to get into rhythm and control it with a jab. But for LeBon's point of view, that round there, he nullified a little bit what Lewis was trying to do, but would like to see Lewis just adjust a little bit, shorten his shots and certainly target that body.
Yeah, LeBon certainly can't allow a big hitter like Lewis. Profit very well conditioned, and he's a big man. He can't allow him just to tee off, and he did make it a lot more difficult for him to set himself and put his combinations together in that round. So a bit of few words from Joe, and let's see what adjustments Profit can make for the 4th and final round.
Bonus 10 seconds. Seconds out for the 4th and final round.
So a solid first 2 rounds from Lewis Profit, and nothing wrong with what he did in the 3rd, but LeBon employing all the tactics he could to make it more difficult. Let's see what adjustments Profit can make to have a final round that he and Joe Eccleston can be happy with.
Look, and you want learning fights, the prospects coming through, and LeBon is presenting some challenges here. Obviously Lewis Profit's still very dominant, but he is presenting
and
challenges.
That's what Joe will want and what Lewis will want. They don't want, you know, with no disrespect to anybody, a punch bag, someone they can just tee off on. They want somebody that asks questions, and LeBon has done his job in that respect in the 3rd. So let's see what the last just over 2 minutes remaining, isn't there now? Let's see what they have in store. Can he find a way through and land some nice clean shots? Profit still managed to land plenty in the 3rd. Let's see if we can have... He'll want some more in the 4th, just bringing it up there with that backhand, just straight into the midriff of an oncoming LeBon. Not had a stoppage so far, Lewis Profit, Dan, but you can see, you know, he's 24 years old. He'll be continuing to build his strength and get his full man strength, if you like, and his physique will represent that, but also learning how to set up the shots, learning how to go through the gears. You can see him getting stoppages as things progress, as a nice backhand finds itself finding a home on the top of LeBon's head. But you can see that coming at some point.
Absolutely, he's very well schooled, very, very solid. I think he's got real power, but I think the key point what you made there, Stacey, is just learning how to open up your opponents and putting your shots together a little bit, because it has been a dominant performance. And I think the learning fights, these fights are learning fights, and now Joe Lewis can go back to the gym and look at what he can improve on. I think definitely what he can improve on is maybe just opening opponents up a little bit more and when to throw your shots. But Lewis Profit in a few fights time will be a stoppage fighter. He'll be stopping people, there's no doubt about it. He's got all the shots, he's got power, he's strong, and he works off an excellent jab, so all the ingredients are there.
All credit to Ryan LeBon, who in the 2nd half of this fight made adjustments to make it difficult for Lewis Profit, and he had to do that because he was taking a lot of punishment in the first 2 rounds. And a great second half of the fight. I don't think he will have learned as much from the first 2 rounds, but more learning from the second half of it, and we've yet to see how he feels about it. Of course, I'll ask him after this one, but that is what you want, isn't it? Perhaps you do and you don't. You want to look your best, you want to be able to show your best skill set, but also you need to be tested and learn from these outings as well, Dan.
Look, I think you hit the nail on the head. The first 2 rounds, Lewis was so dominant and he was having everything his own way. If we had 4 rounds of that, I don't think Lewis would take away what he will take away now. I thought the second half of the fight, Ryan LeBourne used his experience, he tried to spoil it a little bit, and he just gave Lewis a couple of puzzles in there. But again, really, really good performance from Lewis.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. After 4 rounds of action, we go to Ryan Churchill's scorecard, and it reads 40 points to 36 points in favour of your winner from Stoke-on-Trent, Lewis Profit.
So a laugh and a joke, all smiles now from both fighters, Lewis Profit and Ryan LeBourne. It did shift somewhat at the halfway stage, but still very dominant, very convincing performance from Lewis Profit, and a fighter that the fans will want to see again. Plenty to be excited about when it comes to Lewis Profit, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Lewis Profit is one to watch for me. If we just watch a replay here, nice left hook to the body, nice right uppercut. He's got all the shots. He's a very, very well skewed fighter. But his defining feature for me is that jab. He's very accurate with it. It's a nice long jab, it's correct, and it sets up his attacks. And like what I was saying before, he's got power, he's got strength, and I think he's going to develop into a big puncher and stopping people.
Lewis, it seemed a little bit like a 5-2 halves. You pretty much had it all your own way for the first 2 rounds, but then Ryan made, he's experienced, he made adjustments, made it a bit more difficult for you. How did you see it?
I saw it, I was always comfortable in there. He's a southpaw as well, he's a bit tricky, but, it's another one to gather experience from, and because I know where I can go, and go back from that, learn from it, and yeah, let's go all the way.
There's plenty of time. I mean, you're only young, of course, it's only your 3rd outing as a pro, so there's plenty to build on. The stoppages, it seems, will come because you do seem to have that power.
Yeah, the stoppages will come, I'm just trying to, get different opponents, different styles, like he was a tricky southpaw. He's a tricky southpaw, He's like, ooh, but, I just kept that jab going. Probably should have thrown more to the body, which I was trying, but yeah, it's all to learn from, and I know what I can do, and it's just patience and waiting.
Some of those lead hooks you were sinking into the body, he took and absorbed pretty well, to be fair. What's the plan next for you then? Of course, all prospects want to stay busy. Do you know when we can see you out again?
Probably later on this year, like October or sometime like that. I want to do something big this time next year and hopefully get a title.
It's great to have those goals, of course. It sounds like you're going to have great support for you no matter what. What do you want to say to the fans who've come out to see you tonight?
Thank you, everybody who turned out. It's not easy. You come and spend your hard-earned money, and come on, we're on all the way!
Great, congratulations. We're looking forward to seeing you out again. Well done, Lewis.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in the house tonight. Just spotted him. He's coming all the way here from Liverpool to support his stablemate. He is a world champion boxer from the Everton Red Triangle, doing great things for the country. Oh, he's getting in the ring. So please give it up for Nick Ball. Now, nice surprise to see you. Did Pat say we're going to do some chat? Yeah, all right, perfect. So Nick, listen, great to see you tonight. Just tell everybody what brings you down here.
Supporting my gym mate, Luke Turner. Yeah, he's fighting soon, so come down to support him.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. It's great to see someone like you who's you know, world champion level boxer, been in massive fights, still getting down and travelling to Stoke to support your teammates.
100%, that's what it's all about, because these shows are what I started on, and I wouldn't be where I am today without Pat and Black Flash Promotions, to be honest, because these are the shows that I started on, and this is where I started my career, yeah, and that's what it's all about.
I remember interviewing you on your professional debut on a Black Flash show. Now you're here, you know, you've been to the top, you fought some of the big American names, big domestic names. What's next for you, Nick?
Just waiting, yeah, hopefully be back out soon, maybe in November, but yeah, back to winning ways and yeah, keep going.
I mean, that's what it's all about, you know, world champion boxer comes down here, supports his teammates on the small hall shows as well. Just how's he going to get on tonight as well?
All action, yeah. It's going to be exciting. Can't wait.
Well, they're all action in Everton Red Triangle Gym. Nick, absolutely brilliant to see you, mate. What a nice surprise. Give it up for Nick Ball. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our next contest of the evening. This contest, 6 rounds, sanctioned in the super lightweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Mexico, Carlos Torres.
Carlos Torres then, the 32-year-old Mexican, got his last win in 2022. He's had 3 outings this year, all in Spain. This is his first time in the UK. He's fought in Mexico and fought in Spain. Silencioso Torres Reyes, as he just makes his way around the ring, showing his appreciation for the crowd, and he looks set and ready to go and enjoy his opportunity here on our shows.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from Coventry, West Midlands, Huey Malone.
And here comes the former GB boxer. I commentated on him in the amateurs. He is a 4-time national champion, 3 times GB Tri-Nations champion as well. Big hopes for this young man, 6-0. Impressive start to his professional career, the 24-year-old from Coventry. Boxing under the tutelage of Joe Gallagher at Champs Camp.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. We are live on the Black Flash Promotions YouTube channel for this contest. 6 rounds sanctioned in the super lightweight division. Your officials, timekeeper at ringside is Jason Boone, and your referee is 8-star referee Kevin Parker. This evening's contests are all proudly supported by Cooling Installations, Manchester Joinery and 4 Corners. And now let's meet the boxers. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the red and blue shorts. He weighed in at 136.2 pounds, and he comes to the ring with 24 contests, including 5 wins, 1 draw and 1 win by knockout. He comes to us from Nezahualcóyotl, Mexico. Please welcome Carlos Torres. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the multicolored shorts and he weighed in at 135 pounds even. He comes to the ring unbeaten, 6 wins against no decree, and 3 of his wins come by way of knockout. He represents Gallagher's Gym, Chancetown, Mosside, and hails from Coventry, West Midlands. Please welcome Huey
Gents, you both know the rules. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. 6 rounds. Thank you.
Huey Malone then, in the pink and blue shorts, was taking a few final instructions from Joe Gallagher, and Carlos Torres in the red, blue and white shorts, fighting out of the red corner. Part of Champs Camp, stablemates of course with Zelfa Barrett, who we'll see top of the bill this evening. And says Huey that it's great to be part of that environment where everyone's hungry, and it is a good environment to be in when everyone's got goals and that they're working towards it. Certainly helps. And these two, interestingly, 136.2 pounds Torres weighed in at, and bang on 135 for Huey Malone, and yet it looks like he's the heavier man, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I've seen Huey train at Champs Camp. I spent a bit of time down there with him, and he's right what he talks about, the environment down there, the hungry environment, and he's thriving in that. He really is.
Nice double lead hook from him, just catching Torres in again, finds a home just round the side of the head of Torres. He's just going to have to be wary of that lead hand, because he real stinging sharp shot, that one from Malone. Does have an aggressive style. Says he's aware, Malone, that as the rounds increase he'll have to adapt, but he does have a style that's good to watch, that he's brought from the amateurs, and should lend itself well to the pro ranks. Certainly made a good start.
Yeah, I like Huey
3
Malone.
stoppages from the 6 wins, Dan, so clearly has the ability to hurt opponents, and you can see why.
Yeah, I think with Huey Malone as well, it's all about his tempo. He fights at a high tempo. He keeps his opponents under pressure, and obviously he talked about him being a decorated amateur, and you can see it in there, but he doesn't let his opponents rest for a moment. He stands in front of them. He's got a very high work rate.
Yeah, 4-time national champion and 3-time GB Tri-Nations champ, and that tells you all you need to know. Quality operator. He's got 6 rounds here or less, as the case may be, to show us what he can do and put on a good performance here. He's doing that so far.
Yeah, he's closing the distance, but he's sensible with it. He's nice and compact with his shots. He's returning his hands back to his chin nicely. He's not getting too greedy. He knows that Torres in front of him is quite a live wire, quite a dangerous opponent, but Huey at the minute is quite switched on, and positive start from him.
He's got 5 wins and 1 draw as Torres, 19 losses, and of those only stopped twice, so durable. And given that most of those have been in Spain and Mexico, certainly the Mexican fighters known for being tough, Dan, so should provide a decent test as he comes back with a few little flurry of his own, does Torres.
Yeah, Torres looks like he could be a real handful if you allow him to be, and that's why it's very important for Huey Malone to keep him on the back foot. He's got to keep Torres on the back foot. He's got to keep mixing his shots up. What was impressive with Huey Malone in that first round is he wasn't loading up on his shots. He was in close, he was using the jab well, and he was very careful about where his hands were. He was landing his shots, he was returning back to his chin, because I think he's fully aware of the threat that's in front of him, and he can't let Torres grow in confidence in this fight.
Quarters, 10 seconds. seconds out. Round 2.
Torres, the shorter man, just tucking up behind his guard and nimble on his feet as well. But showed us glimpses in the first round that he's not afraid to exchange and have a bit of a scrap, for want of a better expression, with Hugh Malone, but he won't mind mixing it either. Well poised this one, Dan. Nice little clipping shot, just landing on the chin of Torres there from the backhand of Malone as he just goes in search of that shot again. Joe Gallagher just urging Malone just to step back as Torres comes. Just wants him to maintain that gap. He just prods with that lead hand and warming up nicely this one, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. I see what Joe's saying. Use your feet to come out of range and allow or make Torres fall short. But you've also got to be careful allowing Torres to get on the front foot. I believe you need to get him on the back foot and you need to keep him offset. And Hugh Malone does that really well. His lead hand, he's always moving, and that can be quite mentally tiring.
Well, given the reach advantage and the height that Malone has, you would imagine the best chance Torres has is up close, where he can really do his damage. So he's just looking to dip and come under those shots and work his way in. And sometimes as the shorter fighter you have to take a few to get there, and one man who does that exceptionally well is Nick Ball, who Aki Karim, our MC this evening, just spoke with briefly before this one, and he's an expert at it, isn't he? Getting up close and doing lots of damage once he gets there. And that's what Torres will be looking to do. It's incumbent on Malone to keep it at that range where he can be more effective. But both having the successes here. And that's nice from Malone. Just a couple of light touches to then come in with the heavier shots, and that's what you need sometimes, isn't it? Not to be going full-blooded, loading up with every shot, but just to tap and then come through. That's a nice lead hand from him there, and he took it well, Torres.
Yeah, Hugh Malone's got to be cute. He can't be going in there reckless. He needs to be cute. He can't put everything into every shot. He needs to use his jab well, and he needs to mix his attacks up, because like what you're saying there, tap, then a heavy shot, and then move. He needs to be very smart here, because Torres does look like he's got a lot about him, and he looks like he could be a potential nightmare if you allow him into the fight.
And some nice movement from Malone, in and out with his feet, and certainly keeping that distance in the last 30 seconds or so. He just made those slight adjustments, which made it really difficult for Torres to close the gap. Perhaps that's what he's aiming to do. We might see more of that, but he just seemed to figure it out, and Torres was able to close the gap right at the closing stages. But promising signs, and again, this one's scheduled for 6 and thoroughly enjoyable so far, Dan.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, and it's a good matchup. This is what Hugh Malone needs. He's a decorated amateur. He's a very, very accomplished fighter. He needs people that are going to put a bit of fear into him, test him a little bit, and that's what he's got here with Torres in front of him. And I thought in that round you could see signs of Hugh Malone's amateur experience. He was using his feet well, he's making Torres land short, but Hugh Malone can't stand on the ropes with Torres. He can't allow Torres to grow in confidence.
And that's what helps with that amateur pedigree, particularly having been part of the GB setup. It's not just the fights and the tournaments you're involved with, but the amount of international camps where you get people from all over the world coming to Sheffield, or you go to them, and therefore you get to face all sorts of different styles. I mean, it might take a while to adjust, but they do it a lot better when they've had the experience of all different styles and types of opponents in front of them, and that'll serve him well. And we see here he's just maintaining that distance now and able to flick that jab out, Malone. And if he makes it difficult for Torres to get up close, it's going to be difficult for the Mexican to have any success.
Yeah, I really like how Hughie's approached this third round. He
just that step back there, Dan. Just those couple of steps back. It wasn't just one step, it was an extra step that Malone took, and it makes it really difficult for Torres to get up close, because when he does, he's happy to let his hands go, and he does look like he can be dangerous, doesn't he? He's really solid, and he throws those shots all the way from his boots, doesn't he? Really turns his body into them.
Really good stuff here from Hugh Malone. Really intelligent from him.
He's well conditioned, Torres, and if he gets chance up close, he launches himself into those. He gets a good whip on those hooks, doesn't he? As you would expect from any Mexican fighter. And you can see him there working away to the body when he gets chance. And Malone just looking to try and maintain that gap once again and work at range. Looks classy when he does.
Yeah, and I think Hugh Malone should look to counter as well. So when he makes that step back and Torres launches in, I think he should be looking to counter him.
Walk him onto shots.
Yeah. Sometimes when you've got an aggressive style like Torres, it can be your underwing.
Really nice, precise work from Malone. Showing his quality there. His accurate, sharp shots to an oncoming Torres. Nice uppercut now as well. Lovely variety from Malone, and this is great work from the man from the West Midlands. And this is what you'd expect, Dan, from a fighter of his quality, experience and calibre, to just make the adjustments during the fight to work out what he needs to do. And huge credit to Torres, who continues to maraud forward, but Malone having plenty of success, and lovely backhand there landed again as it whips back the head of Torres.
Yeah.
Really good contest, this one.
Yeah, Hugh Malone's just using Torres's advantages against him. Torres is very aggressive, he jumps in, he's very strong, but Hugh Malone just on the back foot, and he's countering him, and he's landing some really good shots now.
And that was a good example there. Landed his shot, stepped off, and then just pivoted out of that corner and back to the long shots again, as Torres now just limited to having to try and scrap away for get whatever he can on the inside. But that was a really good round from both of them, but real class and quality from Malone.
Yeah, I think in that round you could see the gulf in class. I think Torres brings lots of strength, he brings lots of heart, he brings the aggression. In that round, Hugh Malone matched him, but he brought the quality as well. And you could see just that little step back makes all the difference. And he was starting to open up a little. Hugh Malone, he's having really good success with the left hook there, with the right uppercuts. Very intelligent fighting from Hugh Malone. He was patient, but also his temperament, he stayed calm under pressure. Really impressive stuff.
We're seeing some of that precise, well-timed work from Malone. It's a joy to watch when he gets those shots off. You can see the variety just from those replays there. Sometimes those nice long penetrative shots, but then, as Dan said, that lead hook doing the damage at times as well. Halfway stage of this one, and we're looking forward to what's to come, because this has been a really good competitive contest, this one. Plenty of endeavour from Torres, but all the quality coming from Malone.
Joe Gallagher in the corner, quite vocal, and Hugh Malone following instructions well as. I think that's important as well. So as a fighter's developing through the career, it's not just what you do in the ring, it's following instructions. And I think Hugh Malone tonight, an impressive part has been he's been following those instructions from Joe Gallagher really well.
We can see how good he looks at range, can't we, and how difficult it is for Torres to have even a sniff of success when he doesn't allow him to work up close, as he just gets on his bike and his back just grazes the ropes as he skims around the edge of the canvas. Malone, again, really difficult for Torres to close the distance, set his feet and have any success at all. And fair play to him, he's not been deterred, he's still coming forward, but he's taking plenty of punishment in return.
Yeah, what's clever about Hugh is when he's moving around, he's not allowing Torres to set. And Torres is one of those fighters, he needs to set his feet before he throws. He's trying to put a lot of power into his shots, and he's really trying to plant his feet, but Hugh Malone's moving really well in this round. He's not allowing him to do that.
Lovely long shots there from Hugh Malone, really precise as well. Picking his shots nicely.
Yeah, he was just starting to time him now. He's time on the way in, but Torres threw that right hook to the body there. I could feel it from here. He's very strong, he's very aggressive. You know, Hugh's got to be switched on. Just caught a left hook there. Torres will remain dangerous in this fight until the final bell.
He won't stop coming, that's for sure. True to the Mexican style of fighting. Don't tend to take a step back, and they don't give up either. And Torres is certainly living up to that, and it's making for a great showcase. Brilliant matchmaking this for this stage in the 7th outing for Hughie Malone. Because he daren't switch off, as you say. I mean, he's able to showcase his skill set and he's looking good doing it, but he's not had a moment, has he, to switch off and take a breather. Torres won't allow it, and he's having to work for it, but he's looking superb when he gets into his rhythm and keeps it at range and works from distance. Really, really good stuff from the man from Coventry, just 24 years old.
Very impressive, that round from Hugh Malone. It started to all come together. He was moving his feet really well. He was a moving target. When he felt like he needed to hold his feet and throw, he did that as well. Just watching the replay there. Torres just landing a little left hook, and that's why Hugh Malone needs to be switched on at all times. But it's been a very, very good performance from him. He's used his jab fantastically, and that's allowed him to throw other shots as well. So he's landed the jab. That right uppercut has been a very, very key shot tonight, and he's landed some good body shots as well. And we had Nick Ball in the ring before this fight, and we all know what he's gone on to do in the sport. He started on the Black Flash Promotion show. I think Hugh Malone, with his pedigree, with his ability, he'll be looking to replicate that as well.
Second out. Round 5.
And you know it's a good fight, Stacey, because the fight flies by, and I can't believe we're in round 5 already.
Yeah, it's been really enjoyable, this one. Plenty of action, different styles, but they've meshed well. As Malone straight back to work, pushing Torres back now as he goes in pursuit of him. Keeps it at range. Torres now finding himself against the ropes. Malone just mixing up those shots upstairs and downstairs, and again, he's looked so impressive throughout this contest.
Yeah, Hugh Malone started really well in the fight, and he's just gone from strength to strength. He's improved every single round, and he's showing us different things in there, isn't he, Stacey? He started off quite aggressive on the front foot, but then as the fight's gone on, he's shown us his movement, his footwork, his boxing ability.
Really staying switched on, Malone, as well. You saw him have some success with that combination and instantly pivoted off, stepped away and made sure he maintained the distance and was back to those long shots again. Smart work from Malone, as Torres continuing to keep coming forward, taking some hammer on the way in, some to the gloves, some are getting through, but continuing to go in pursuit of Malone. Sometimes using it against him is Hughie, as he just picks him off and walks him onto shots, but cracking contest this one is. Nice work on the inside from Torres. That's where he's most effective. Can he make it count? Just misses with that looping lead hand. Nice work again, fast hands from Malone. Good shot selection as well. Backhand getting through from Torres there. Fires back though, Malone, with a nice combination once again. All out action this one is.
Yeah.
What a fight for the fans, this one, Dan. I mean, you can't not enjoy this one as a boxing fan.
Yeah, Hugh Malone's boxed really well, but both men have played their part, and I think Torres has brought the best out of Hughie tonight. Torres really has give value for money tonight. He's not stopped trying in there.
He's just trying to impose himself, isn't he, and force himself upon Huey Malone. But when he moves his feet, difficult to do. But when he does get in close, and he did a fair few times in that round, Dan, he's great to watch, isn't he? Slamming in those body shots and coming up with the uppercuts, and lovely work on the inside from Torres.
Quarters, 10 seconds. Seconds out for the sixth and final round.
Well, we've thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I'm sure we're in for more of a treat for this final 3 rounds, as Malone again working behind that snappy jab. Torres again, tight guard, just waiting for his opportunity to pounce and get in close and work his man. Lovely work when he finishes those combinations with that lead hook, Huey Malone. Really impressive, and He's caught Torres on the chin a couple of times. He's taken them well, though, to be fair to the Mexican.
Yeah, and what I really like is he takes his feet out range as well. So by the time Torres blocks the shots and he comes back to return, Huey Malone's not there.
So much variety with that lead hand. We saw then just slipping in a cheeky uppercut off the jab from that lead hand from Huey Malone. We've seen him also let the hook go, worked it to the body as well. Loads of variety in his lead hand, is again putting the combinations together. Nice defensive manoeuvre though, as he just slips under the hook of Torres. Again, just using his feet to maintain that distance. A little slip there. Torres just seizing the opportunity to just try and force himself forward, but Malone again firing in that backhand to keep Torres at bay. 1 minute 20 remaining. Testament to the conditioning of both men, because it has been fought at a frenetic pace, and I can tell you it is very, very warm in here this evening, so all the more difficult from a boxer's point of view. Huge credit to both of them. Malone again on the back foot, as again his back just grazes the ropes as he skirts around the edge of the ring, and then a nice 1-2 down the centre. Torres not to be deterred though, again trying to work up close and just work away at the body of Malone, and just trying to find a gap to slam those body shots in, but Malone again working well at range.
Been really impressed with Huey Malone's concentration all night. He's been switched on, he slipped shots well, he's moved well, and Torres has brought the absolute kitchen sink tonight. Been putting everything into every shot, and he's had success and he's played his part, but Huey Malone's been fantastic. It's a very, very mature performance for someone that's only had the 6th fight. This is his 7th fight, and he's been very, very mature in there tonight.
And I think that is the difference, that incredible amateur pedigree. Those that can make the adjustments to the pro ranks and draw on that experience tend to do well, because they have the basics. They've seen lots of different types and faced lots of different types of opponent. They know how to make those adjustments, and for some it doesn't always happen. We've seen the transition not work from even those that have been to the very, very top of the amateur code. But it looks like Huey Malone is going to be just fine in the pro ranks, because that was a really good performance for his 7th as a pro, Dan.
Yeah, that was a test. That was a mini test to having your 7th fight. And speaking to Joe Gallagher, he's got very high hopes of Huey Malone. I think they're going to try and move him a little quicker than what you would usually move a prospect because of that amateur experience. I think that's what this fight was about tonight. This was a test in there because Torres come to win, and he was dangerous. He never stopped throwing. He was strong. He was relentless. And I think that, for me, best performance I've seen from Hugh Malone. I think Torres brought the pressure, and I think it gave a little bit of fear to Hugh Malone. I think he responded marvellously.
Please show your appreciation for both boxers. After 6 rounds of boxing, we go to Kevin Parker's scorecard. It reads 59 points to 56 points in favour of your winner from Coventry, West Midlands, Malone.
So 59-56 in the end from referee Kevin Parker, and a really good, solid night's work from Hughie Malone. He was impressive, the adjustments that he made. We got to see his skill set against a tough, durable opponent who kept coming forward and was relentless. But Hughie Malone had more than enough to match it, and we saw his class, his quality, and he's going to be one to watch for sure. We know that he had great success in the amateurs, and his team there with him will be hoping that he can do exactly the same in the pros.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, knowing Joe Gallagher and the team, the perfectionists, you want things done right. But there's one thing I can say is Hugh Malone will be moved at the right pace. He'll have the right fights at the right time. And tonight's evidence of that. He boxed really, really well. He was against a live opponent there, and he had to be switched on. If Hugh Malone tonight wasn't switched on, that would be a potential banana skin. But he didn't. He boxed really well. He used his feet well. He used his jab well. When it was time to mix it up, he mixed it up. Definitely one to watch for the future.
Hugh, you've really great amateur pedigree. I was fortunate enough to commentate on you in the amateurs as well. You've been a national champion, GB Tri-Nations champion. It doesn't always lend itself to a successful career in the pro ranks, but what a start you've made. And tonight, he was tough, wasn't he? He was relentless, he kept coming, but really, really impressive, and you showed your class and quality.
Thank you, yeah, I'd just like to firstly say thank you to everyone who came out. I really appreciate you buying a ticket and coming to sport. It means a lot. And yeah, he was a tough game opponent, just like I want really at this stage of my career. I don't want easy walkover fights, so I'd like someone to test me, and I feel like he just done that, so yeah.
Well, we'll see your stablemate Zelta Barrett in a little while. Talk to me about what it's like being part of Champs Camp and working with Joe and Marcus and the team. What's that like for you?
Yeah, I was lucky enough. Joe took me on from my pro debut, and the boys, Marcus, Macaulay, Joe, like everyone in the gym, always helping out, and yeah, the gym is such a buzz in there. Like, I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to leave really.
Given your amateur background and the success that you had, presumably you want to be fast-tracked. What is the plan for you now? That's your 7th outing. What do you think's next?
Yeah, that's 4 this year, I think. Joe is my manager, and I think he's looking to get me as active as possible because I'm always in the gym, always ready to go. So I feel like it's why not. But I think that's my 4th one since June. So yeah, I'm gonna get
maybe a little holiday.
Yeah, gonna get married, go on holiday, and then yeah, I'll be back out a couple of times at the end of the year, I'm sure.
I'm glad you didn't get any cuts or black eyes or anything before your wedding. That's important. And a final word to you for the people who've travelled to support you today.
Yeah, massive thank you to everyone who come out to support me. Isn't the closest to Cov, but yeah, I really appreciate everyone buying the ticket. I thank you.
What's going to be more nerve-wracking, ring walk or walking down the aisle?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Listen, classy performance, absolute quality operator, great to see you. Congratulations and all the best for your wedding and your holiday, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next contest of the evening. 4 rounds of boxing, sanctioned in the super middleweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Bognor Regis, Callum Hyde. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from Birmingham, West Midlands, Tatenda Majanja.
Majanja then made his debut in May with a points win against Josh Cook. Says that his professional debut was the proudest moment of his career so far, but he'll be hoping for many more big nights. This being one of them here at King's Hall in Stoke.
This contest is presented by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions, and this contest is 4 rounds, sanctioned in the super middleweight division. Your officials, your timekeeper at ringside is Mark Dorgan. Your referee in charge of the action will be Ryan Churchill. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the black and white. He weighed in at 171.3 pounds, and he comes to the ring with 46 professional contests from Bognor Regis, Sussex. Please welcome Callum Hyde. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the black and gold shorts, and he weighed in at 175.1 pounds. He comes to the ring unbeaten, 1 win against no defeats. From Birmingham, West Midlands, here is Tatenda Majanja.
Okay guys, you both know the rules, so keep it clean. When I say break, you stop boxing, take a step back immediately. Protect yourselves at all times.
Well, the noise in here has gone up a few decibels for Tatenda Majanja. He's 1-0, the youngster from Birmingham. As I say, made his debut, got a points win in May against Josh Cook. And he says that was his proudest moment so far.
For the first round, round 1.
Callum Hyde, though, got the experience, of course, the man from Bognor Regis. 34 years old, he's had 46, been out 6 times this year already, and he's already got 2 lined up, so a busy away fighter, Dan. And he's got his work cut out here, as Majanja wastes no time in applying the pressure.
Yeah, Majanja's come out to make a statement here. He's come out very, very sharp.
Majanja in the black and gold shorts, fighting out of the blue corner. And Hyde in the black shorts with the silver trim, fighting out of the red corner. And he's the taller man, and he'd do well to use that height advantage, wouldn't he, as he just feints. Just trying to give Majanja something to think about and deter him from coming forward, because he does so with plenty of tenacity, doesn't he? And snapping those shots, and any chance he gets, he's loading up and wading into Callum, piling on the pressure.
Yeah, I think Callum Hyde here, I think he's just got to weather the storm a little bit. What he's doing there, he's got to tie Majanja up. He's got to try and get behind that jab and keep it long and try and frustrate him. But Majanja on the front foot, he's not letting up. He's really looking to make a statement.
He's constantly stepping across and trying to cut the ring off and just apply pressure, is Majanja. Happy to work up close. Couple of shots to the body there. Hyde just having to tuck up as tight as he can. Those long arms allowing him to drop his elbows around each side of his torso as well. Just trying to cover all departments because Majanja just hitting anything that he can, and that's what they say sometimes, Dan, isn't it? Not everyone's about precision, it's just about throwing and hitting wherever you can, but a bit more accuracy there from Majanja as he was trying to find the gaps beneath the elbows, those long arms of Hyde. He's just increasingly having to tuck up and weather these flurries from Majanja.
Yeah, I like the intent from Majanja. He's on the front foot. He's trying to make the statement. He's trying to put a little bit of a show on. Would just like to see him slow it down a little bit more and pick his shots maybe. Callum Hyde will look now to try and sort of spoil his attacks, maybe tie him up a little bit. But Majanja's just ferocious, isn't he?
And you've either got to keep a fighter like this off by making them respect your power, or you've got to keep it at range using your feet to keep that distance. Can Callum Hyde do either of those? Choosing to get on his bike, trying to keep it long, but Majanja won't be denied and just bullies his way forward. And a good tactic from Majanja. I mean, obviously he has to be able to execute that, but it's a good tactic in that first opening round to really put Hyde under pressure, not allow him to settle and outwork his opponent as well. And sometimes perhaps not the most accurate shots, but at times that work to the body with the lead hand has been excellent, and you would expect that accuracy to come once he starts to settle in these next rounds.
Yeah, and Majanja jumped on the front foot, and he, like you say, he didn't let Callum Hyde settle. Hyde was using his feet for most parts. I would like to see Hyde get behind the jab, and when they get up close, maybe tie Majanja up, but Majanja just set off like an absolute steam train, and it was a case of quantity over quality, but there was plenty of quality as well.
10 seconds.
For me, Majanja, what I would like to see, I'd like to see him slow it down, because this approach is okay at this level, but as you step through the levels, you probably need to introduce a little bit more thinking to what you're doing.
Yeah,
but yeah, very impressive first round from Majanja.
I think it's been an explosive all-action first round, but now let's just see if we can just find a bit more accuracy with those shots, because they'll be more effective if we can land them clean. Nice work with the jab from Majanja. What can he do here? That was good work from him, but he tucked up well there, Hyde, to be fair. And as I say, sometimes when they've got those long levers, I mean, look at him when he tucks up, his elbows are all the way to the waistline of his pants, aren't they? So it's really difficult to find an opening, and that's what I mean by sometimes if there's not clear openings, just hit anything that you can land on, and that's what Majanja's done, and that's why I think it was a good tactic for the first round. Let's see now if he can create some openings. Easier said than done, as Hyde tucking up, and he's got that long frame, hasn't he? And sometimes just that little feint sometimes before you go in can evoke an opening and elicit a response that you can capitalise on. Just seem to have slowed it down a bit, and that's better work from Majanja. There we see a bit of accuracy, and the intent's still there, but it's smart work from him.
Yeah, Majanja in that first round set out his stall of how he was going to approach the fight. This round it's slowed down a little bit, but I feel like the quality's improved. He's landing plenty of shots, and he is throwing the jab before he attacks. He is feinting.
There's nothing wrong with if you've got someone who's really tucked up and not showing you much, just hitting anything that he can. But if he's able to show as well and impress that he can cut the ring off and create openings, then that's good for him to showcase, and good development as well in this, his second professional outing. Got into boxing just mucking around with his friends, getting the gloves on, and then after watching Anthony Joshua and Dillian White, he fancied a bit of it, started at an MMA gym, and after a couple of months decided that boxing was his preferred discipline, and he's never looked back, and here he is. Got a really good mentality as well, has Majanja. When you hear him speak, he'll talk about aiming to be 1% better every day, talks about the confidence and the discipline that boxing has given him. And that'll all stand him in good stead as he just snaps out a nice double jab. Good work from him. And it's good to see these different sides to him, isn't it? We had the all-out action in the first round. In this second round, a little bit more considered. And he's had some good success. And you can see the right-hand side of Ide's body just above his belt line there, reddening. And that's due to that solid work of sinking those body shots in from Majanja. Good second round.
Yeah, Majanja showed improvements in that second round. He did slow the pace down a little bit. He landed to the body really, really well. Solid body shots, but also as well as he's shown us his jab. He was jabbing really well towards the end of the round. And you talk about that mentality and that decision to turn to boxing. Aren't we glad he made that decision, because he is an exciting fighter to watch. He's brought a good support with him as well, and you can see why. I'd just not been able to get into the fight. Najanja's just an absolute whirlwind, and I'd not been able to get into the fight, and he was really impressive in that second round, Najanja.
We saw some of that nice work to the body there in the replay, which is why we're seeing that reddening just above the belt line of Callum Hyde, and he'll be feeling those. They have an accumulative effect, but it was all-out action from Majanja in the first round. A little bit more considered in the second, but it's a smart approach from him. And of course, when you're on this platform and it's just your second outing, you're so eager to put on a good performance, aren't you? And sometimes you can be a little bit too eager. You've just got to settle it. But either way, we're not complaining, because he's very exciting to watch, isn't he? Doubling up that jab now, Najanja. And it's interesting this, because Majanja has thrown that double jab several times in succession now. Is he just drawing Callum Hyde onto something? That is he going to follow up with a backhand? Or sometimes that's what fighters do, isn't it, to test the water or try and get their opponent used to something and then catch them with the element of surprise.
Yeah, I think he's throwing that double jab. He's seeing how Hyde's reacting, and
there comes the backhand, and then he wastes no time in stepping in, and Callum Hyde doing what he needs to do there just by tying him up. Because once he comes forward, Majanja, there's very little he can do to stop him.
Yeah, I think Najanja throws a very good straight right. I think he's trying to set up the sort of looping right hand over the top.
And it's just about being able to cut the ring off and apply intelligent pressure, because sometimes he's just allowing Callum Hyde to make that semicircle, if you like, and step across him. Just needs to step across and cut that ring off a little bit more effectively, and that'll conserve his energy a bit more. But plenty to like about this work from Majanja. Callum Hyde just tucking up and trying to reply when he can. That double jab, wicked hand speed from Majanja, and he's looking really comfortable now, isn't he? Now he's slowed things down. He's kept the hand speed, but not quite as frenetic, and these are good adjustments that he's made in between rounds, I feel, Dan.
Yeah, I think so, and I think Callum Hyde started trying to throw back, and I think that will suit Najanja. I think he wants Callum to throw back, so some more openings can be created.
Good work from Majanja, just tip-tapping and then following up with a loaded up shot as well. Again, that element of surprise. He cuts the ring off well there and works to the body. Back up top as well, and Callum Hyde just having to tuck up. Comes forward with real fury, doesn't he, and real spiteful intentions, Majanja.
And I think it's been very hard for Callum Hyde to read him tonight. I think that he's jabbed really well. He's doubled the jab, he's tripled the jab up. Callum's just not been able to read him. And when he's coming with flurries. And it's put Callum Hyde into a defensive mode where he's just tucked up far too much.
Well, he's a real handful. Of course, a difficult tactic to sustain over 8, 10, 12 rounds. But for now, winning the rounds, winning them well. It looks comfortable and exciting to watch as well.
Yeah, and it's effective, because if you look at Callum Hyde in the corner, he looks a little worse for wear. Whereas Najanja in the corner, he still looks quite fresh. He's enjoying himself in there, but I think Callum Hyde, like I said, has been struggling to read him, because what Najanja's done really well, he set his attacks up really well with that double jab, that triple jab. and automatically that's put Callum Hyde into a defensive sort of position where he sort of tucked up a little bit too much, and the Janja after that has put his shots together really, really well. Really good body work from him. All action fighters, Najanja. Very exciting to watch.
Corners, 10 seconds. Seconds out for the fourth and final round.
I tell you what, that double jab has been superb from Majanja. It's sharp, it's quick, and he brings his feet in with it as well, which allows him to close that distance against the taller man. And now he's able to bring the backhand into the fray as well, and manages to get off a bit of a flurry. But that double jab has been so effective in the last couple of rounds, Dan.
Absolutely, because when he throws that double jab, he puts Hyde on the back foot, and Hyde goes on the back foot with his hands up, and that's allowing for Najanja to come with his second and third phase attacks.
Such a smart tactic, though, to back up a taller fighter and close that distance behind that double jab, and then work off it. The speed of it. Callum Hyde not able to counter, as we see. He's marked up around that left eye, tucking up again.
And you can see the effect it's had on Callum. Callum looks a little worse for wear. He looks out of breath. He looks like he's struggling in there.
It's certainly been a hard night's work for him, because he's been relentless as Majanja. Lovely backhand finds its way through the guard of Callum Hyde this time, though, as he backs him up against the ropes, and Hyde just tying his man up, but it won't be for long. He comes again. Nice work. Head and body from Majanja, mixing it up as he just starts to turn up the temperature now. Here he comes again. That combination just lacking the accuracy, but still a really hard night's work for Callum Hyde. Not able to keep him off him. He's just having to resort to tucking up as best he can and weather these storms as Majanja relentlessly coming forward. And that's good to see, a switch of the angle from Majanja, just using his feet to pivot around and try and fashion an opening for that lead hand.
Yeah, he's just shown us something a little different there, Najanja, and Najanja looks like he could do this all night long, which is quite concerning for Hyde.
This is just a case of Hyde having to tuck up and defend himself. This is like the last sort of 30 minutes of England-Argentina, isn't it? On the retreat, as Majanja just keeps piling forward. Really exciting to watch. Impressive stuff, but you can see the adjustments and the smart changes that he's made as this one's progressed. And certainly one thing could be said, you want to see Majanja in the ring again, but you don't necessarily want to be the person facing him, Dan, because he is a real handful.
Look, I think it's going to be a challenge to match him. I really do. I think he's a hot prospect. He looks like he could do that all night long. Imagine taking those sort of shots, being under that pressure for 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 10 rounds. Very, very good performance, very dominant, and I think the biggest challenge is going to be in a couple of fights is matching this kid.
Well, Callum Hyde is taking some deep breaths, just trying to suck the air in, and as he went back to his corner, he went, we don't blame you, Callum, we were feeling that one for you. Tough night's work for him, and he'll be a handful for anyone, Will Majanja. Second time we've seen him out, the man from Birmingham. We're already looking forward to seeing him again.
Yeah, and he brought a lot of fans tonight. You can see why he's an all-action style, and I think his fan base will increase after that tonight. I want to see him again, you want to see him again, everyone in here wants to see him again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. After 4 rounds of boxing, we go to referee Ryan Churchill's scorecard. It reads 40 points to 36 points in favour of your winner. From Birmingham, West Midlands, Tajanda Majanja.
He's got a really good following, you You can hear them in fine voice, all on their feet, just to the right of our commentary position. And they've every right to be cheering and proud of their man, because he put a real shift in tonight. And sometimes you see prospects just going through the motions. Anything but from Majandra. It was all out, all action. Plenty of tactical nous at times as well, though, not to discredit him for that, but really exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, when he came out in the first round, he come out like a whirlwind. But as we saw as the rounds went on, 2, 3 and 4, we saw a different side to him. He was changing the angle at times, he was mixing it well from head to body, he was jabbing really, really well, and it was really effective. And I think what will happen now is they'll want to keep him busy, which is right for a prospect, but they'll polish him along the way. And if we just look at some of the replays there, all action, front foot, and he looks like he hits hard as well. He looks like he's got some power. I think definitely he's going to be one to watch, someone we will be excited to watch again. Very, very dominant performance.
Goodness me, that was all-out action, especially from the first round. It was a hard night's work for Calamite, that's for sure. And at times all he could do was took up such an exciting style. But the adjustments that he made to settle things and be more accurate with his shots was clear to see tactically and technically in the latter rounds.
Yeah, listened to my coach. I come out and find the stuff city right now. I'm still getting used to coming from the amateur style. I've had a lot of amateur fights and just coming in changing style completely. You try to start mastering something else and you come back and you're back to square one. So just slowly building up and gaining experience.
I know you talk a lot about aiming to be 1% better each day, and it's a really good mindset to have, particularly in a sport like boxing. What did you make of the improvements that you made, and how did you judge your performance this evening?
Yeah, so just from the first round to the second, I tried to calm things down a lot more. So that's one thing I already know from the future. I'm not going to go out there fast, like blasting it out. Because these guys are experienced. A fighter like Calamite, he's been in the ring, I don't know how many times, but more than me, and he knows his way around the ring. So just getting used to that, and you know, with working on myself and taking that 1% is just slowing down things and just keep building up, that's it.
And you're quite right, you'll have to make the adjustments as the rounds increase, but what an exciting style you've got, and everyone really enjoyed it. I mean, what's sort of next for you? I know you're going to want to develop and be matched well and all of that, but in terms of this year, what's the plan?
Yeah, this year, just stay active, stay busy, fight as much as I can. As you can see from my style, I like to come forward, fight as much as I can. And it's the same way I'm outside the ring. I just want to keep active, stay in the gym, and just fight as much as I can. That's it, stay active.
Well, you were relentless, and we certainly enjoyed it. A word for all of the people who've come to support you, who are on their feet and in fine voice tonight, getting behind you.
Yeah, everyone here, I can't even explain how much it means to me. Coming now, I'm travelling an hour all the way from Birmingham to here, and it means a lot. And I hope this is the army we can take all the way to the top. From my family to all my friends I've grew up with, from when I was young, childhood friends, everyone here, and trying to build up this army to keep going, that's it.
Well, listen, it was so exciting. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We can't wait to see you out again. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next contest of the evening, 6-round sanctioned in the middleweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Manchester by way of Iran. He is the freedom fighter Bahadur Karami.
Bahadur Karami then, the 34-year-old Iranian, goes by the freedom fighter. He's had 6 outings this year. Incidentally, he's managed by my cousin, Dale Arrowsmith, who's an away fighter himself. He's faced quality opposition. The likes of former GB boxer George Crotty, Johan Croft as well, top-level Welshman, of course, under the tutelage of Anthony Crolla now, both unbeaten as pros, and Dan Aziz last year as well. 21-year-old Luke Turner from Warrington, boxing out of Everton Red Triangle. Paul Stevenson, the head coach, there in his corner. What a stable they have. The likes of Nick Ball, WBA featherweight champion, of course, previously, who we've got with us here tonight. He's here to support his stablemate. Peter McGrail, former European champion Chloe Watson. They've got some real talent in that stable. Luke Turner looking to be the next one to make a name for himself from the Everton Red Triangle. This is third outing as a professional. Made his pro debut last October.
We are live on Black Promotions YouTube channel for this contest. 6 rounds of boxing sanctioned in the middleweight division. Your officials for this contest, the timekeeper will be Mark Dorgan, and your referee in charge of the action is Ryan Churchill. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the white shorts and he weighed in at 171.4 pounds. A veteran of 57 contests, including 4 wins, 5 draws, and 1 win by knockout from Manchester by way of Iran. Here is the freedom fighter, Bahadur Karami. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the black, silver, and gold. He weighed in at 165 pounds even and comes to the ring unbeaten. 2 wins, no defeats, and 1 win comes by way of knockout. From Liverpool, Merseyside, here is Luke the Duke Turner!
Okay guys, you're both on the rules, so keep it clean. When I say play, stop boxing, take a step back immediately. Most importantly, protect yourselves at all times. 6 rounds, touch gloves.
Luke Turner then, in the black shorts with the gold sparkles, fighting out of the blue corner, and Bahadur Karami in the white shorts with the blue tassels, fighting out of the red corner. We mentioned before, stablemate of Luke Turner's Nick Ball, former WA featherweight champion, is here, and he was talking in the ring with Aki Karim about how he got his start on the Black Flash promotion shows. I fought on the same card of him as him a couple of times at Bowlers in Manchester, and look where he's got to. That should be all the incentive that any of the fighters tonight need. You can start on these shows and create a pathway to the very, very top, as Karami just seeming to perhaps turn an ankle a little bit there, it seemed, Dan, but hopefully shaking it off as Luke Turner loading up on his shots. He looked in supreme condition at the weigh-in, as Karami just continuing to look like he's having a little bit of problem with that left ankle, I think it is, stiffening up.
Yeah, it seems that way, and Turner's kind of sensed it, and he's taking full advantage of it. He just keeps shaking that left ankle out a little bit. I think it's giving him a bit of bother, but Turner started really positive here. He'd be full of confidence coming off a stoppage last time out. Well,
he's boxed twice in Liverpool for his first 2 outings as a pro in his home city, so, well, close to his home city. He's from Warrington. Won't appreciate me saying it's his home city, but closer than Stoke anyway, so maybe a little less pressure, but he doesn't strike you as someone who's bothered by pressure. Very businesslike as he sets about Karami, and he's slamming those shots in, and Karami's starting to suffer here now, and he's feeling the power and the presence and the quality work from Luke Turner, who is in no mood to do overtime here, as he's not taken any time in having to break Karami down. He's been accurate, he's been effective, and the shots have been solid right from that first belt.
One thing you don't want to do if you're fighting Luke Turner is to have
a backhand there, found its way. Check the chin of Karami as he's on unsteady legs here. Referees taking a really close look at this, as now Turner working away upstairs and downstairs, turning through the gears. He knows he's got Karami hurt, and huge credit to Karami, who's managed to hang on for now. Still 40 seconds to go though. managed to stay on his feet, and those were big shots that the Iranian took. Managed to get his balance back, but Luke Turner again, every shot packs a real punch, plenty of power, and Karami taking an awful lot of punishment, and that ankle not helping matters, just adding to his problems as he steps back and just looks to hear the bell here after what has been a tumultuous and tough first round for Bahadur Karami.
Very dominant round there from Luke Turner. It looked like Karami twisted his ankle quite early in the fight, and that restricted his mobility. But if we just watch the replay here, working the body well, Luke Turner, but
that was the shot there, wasn't it? That backhand and landed flush on Karami, and I tell you what, that would drop most fighters, I think it's fair to say. And then he followed up with plenty more shots. It really disoriented him then, and he did so well to get his bearings took up and weather that storm, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that right hand from Turner to hurt Karami was a really well placed shot, turned his knuckles over, solid shot, but Luke Turner in that first round set his stall out.
Karami up on his feet early there, and I think that's a good choice from him, just to make sure he was steady on his feet, as he was wobbled and off balance from the sheer power and accuracy of Turner in that first round. And he continues in the same vein, and that backhand finding a home yet again, slamming into the head of Karami as he's doing his best to rally, working at close range.
Luke Turner's very comfortable in short range. He throws every shot with bad intentions,
and he gets, even at close range, real purchase on his shots, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Real power on them, generates it from his torso,
and he throws them correctly, turns his knuckles over, he throws them correctly, and he doesn't need a lot of distance. And I think Karami's struggling with his mobility, so he's having to stand in front of Luke Turner, which naturally is something you wouldn't want to do, because he is very heavy-handed. He throws his shots correct, and like what you say, from his legs and his torso, he generates a lot of power.
"21 years old, Luke Turner, the man from Warrington. He's got a real strong physique already. Sometimes it can take a while to build that, but real mature strength and plenty of power already at just 21 years old, and signed with Queensbury, and if he keeps putting on performances like this, it won't be long before he's getting big opportunities, you would imagine. Just teeing off on Karami now, leading off with that lead uppercut. Plenty of variety from Luke Turner, and lots of power as well, and Karami is one tough man, tucking up, but these are finding the way through and taking lots of punishment here, the 34-year-old.
Yeah, he's a tough man, Karami, but he's showing some damage around his face, some reddening. Luke Turner's just having it all his own way. Karami's trying to fire back at times, but it's having little to no effect. I think this is a fight Karami's being forced to fight, because it's quite obvious he's got an ankle problem. He would like to be on his bike a little bit more, but Luke
There's blood on the nose of Karami, might be coming from the bridge of his nose. Got his back to us from our commentary position at the moment. Just see that tattooed back of Karami. Yeah, I do think there is a cut to his nose as he just swipes at it with his glove. Certainly signs of plenty of wear and tear to that nose of Karami already. Taking further punishment tonight, though, as Luke Turner continuing to slam those shots in at every opportunity from every angle. You can just hear them, can't you, sinking in, and Karami again just trying to rally and find some success, but that success very limited, and just not able to keep Luke Turner off him at all.
Yeah, Luke Turner, very solid fighter. Throws his shots with bad intentions, but very accurate with his shots as well. And in that round, I feel like he hurt Karami to the body. I just see Karami wince a little bit. full respect to Karami. He overcome being hurt in the first round, and he's given a brave effort here, but I just feel like he's out of his depth a little bit. But Luke Turner's having it all his own way.
Just checking with the referee Ryan Churchill there what the nose injury came from, and he's confirmed it was from a punch.
Seconds out.
And that's just added to the growing list of problems for Karami. Got that ankle that he seems to have twisted in the first round, and it's stiffened and he keeps trying to shake it out. Got the cut to the nose and the small matter of a very tenacious and powerful and skillful youngster in the form of Luke Turner in front of him. I don't suppose you could really ask much more of Luke Turner. He's thrown every shot in the book, the kitchen sink at Karami. He's used feints here and there, he's worked upstairs, downstairs, he's not too much more that he can do. He's just in with a very, very tough man who's not showing him any openings, and who can blame him, because coming straight back at him is ferocious shots, and walks onto a stiff jab there from Turner. Slams the lead hand to the body and then comes upstairs again. And he's done really well to recover Karami, because it looked, for all intents and purposes, like it might be an early night in the first round. He was off balance, his legs had gone, he was all over the place, but managed to weather the storm and come through, and still having a go when he sees fit to do so.
Yeah, Karami's making a fight of it, and I'm glad about it, because what you want for a prospect coming through, such as Turner, is you want them to get the rounds, you want them to get valuable rounds, and Karami is obviously debilitated, he's obviously injured, but he is making a fight of it, he's firing back, and he's giving Turner those valuable rounds. Luke Turner, so far it's been fairly faultless. He's shown us what he's got, but we already knew that. He's got every shot in the book, he's solid, he's powerful. And like what you said, Stacey, he's just in there with an incredibly tough man. And you know, credit to Karami. There's obviously a big golfing class, but he's making a fight for it, but he's firing back. But Luke Turner's just pretty much systematic at the minute. He's just giving a bit of a systematic beating out to Karami. Karami's still showing signs, but realistically, Luke Turner's having it all his own way.
Boxing well within himself, Luke Turner here, but certainly putting on a really good display, Dan, and he looks comfortable, but not in the sense that he's taking it easy, because the work rate's there, the endeavour's there. He's just comfortable because so superior is his ability and his technical ability to the man in front of him.
Yeah, there's a golfing class, and Luke Turner from the first round, he just stood in the pocket, and you're right, he looked very, very comfortable there. That's his game, up close, throwing solid shots, looking for the openings, and Karami was badly hurt in that first round, managed to somehow recover, and he's still in there, he's still firing back, but there is an obvious golfer class, but in terms of Luke Turner, there's nothing really more you can ask from him.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Nice combinations from Luke Turner. As I say, his first 2 outings in Liverpool, which is the home of his club, not his home. That definitely is Warrington, just to reiterate that. But this is also a good experience, isn't it? Boxing in different cities, different places, where it's not your usual routine, things are unfamiliar. All prepares you for hopefully bigger things to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And the momentum side of things, I always think for young fighters coming through, momentum's very, very important.
And he's going to need some good tests, isn't he? Because there's a very, very tough man in front of him here, and he's pieced him up, as they say sometimes in the business. But he won't want too many of these, and that's no disrespect to Karami, because he's giving him a test of sorts. But he'll want someone who can fire back, who can ask questions of him, because that's how he's really going to develop from here, isn't it? And get himself into, you know, title contention, or, you know, all the many goals that I'm sure he's set for himself.
Yeah, you'll see the best of Luke Turner when he's in there against someone who's throwing back, so there's going to be plenty of openings for him. But also someone who's going to put a bit of fear into Luke Turner. Round one, he walked across the ring and he just dominated from round one, but you want someone who's going to put a little bit of fear into him. And those tests will come. There's no doubt those tests will come, but for tonight, he's just very, very dominant performance, and he will learn from this, as dominant as it is, and the goal for class, he will learn from this, because he's got Karami in front of him there. He's going to spoil, he's going to stay in there, he's tough. So he is asking questions of sort of Luke Turner, but more to do with a technical point of view, is how to open up your opponent.
Just tucking up as best he can, Karami, and he can't afford to let that guard drop for a second. You saw there, for that split second, he took a step back, and Luke Turner found a home for that backhand as he just whips that lead hand around the side of the head of Karami. Just taking an awful lot of punishment as he swipes again at that cut to the bridge of his nose. They don't feel good, particularly when you're taking more and more punishment. It's been a real tough night's work for Karami, and these are the nights where it has to be one of the most difficult ways to make a living, Dan Murray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not many people who have to go through this much punishment for a wage, is there? Oh, really good work from Turner then as he walked. Karami just walked onto that lead hand.
Yeah, no, another dominant round. Karami, like you say, he's earning his money, he's doing it in a very tough way, but he's stayed in the fight. He's taken a lot of punishment, he's been hurt, he's marked up, he's stayed in the fight, so fair play to him. Luke Turner just trying to drive those shots in close.
Seconds out. Round 5.
So 2 rounds remaining, and I can't see anything changing here in terms of momentum, Dan Murray, because Karami, although he's tough, can't see him posing any problems for Luke Turner.
No,
it's just a matter of how much punishment he can take.
Yeah, Karami, he's not going to be able to outbox Turner, he's not be able to keep him off, he's not got the power to do that. All he can really do is try and survive through the rounds, but that's asking questions of Turner, because Turner's got to be careful not to get too frustrated here. He's just got to stick to his plan and be systematic like he's been, use the jab well, drive that right hand in, and then work the body and hope at some point Karami will break down. But Karami's a very, very tough man.
He's only been stopped twice in 48 losses. So that says something, and as I said before, he has been in with some top quality opposition. Former GB boxer George Crotty, Johan Croft, top Welsh fighter, fights for Anthony Crolla now, both unbeaten as pros. Dan Aziz last year, the British, Commonwealth and European champions. So there's a long list of top names. Shakan Pitters as well, so to only be stopped twice is pretty impressive. Shakan Pitters was one of those fighters who stopped him along with Amir Abu Bakr. So that just tells you everything you need to know about Bahadur Karami, and that says everything about the performance that Luke Turner has put on here. And that's all we can judge prospects off, isn't it? Is how well they do against, you know, opponents that others have already faced. And Aki Karim, our MC this evening, who sat next to us, just said there's not many people who wobble him, and that's true. So the fact that Luke Turner did that in the opening round also is a statement.
I was going to say that's a measure of his performance. He hurt him. He hurt Karami in the first round, but I think he's hurt him multiple times through the fight. I think he hurt him to the body as well, and I think he's hurt him repeatedly.
Well, he'll certainly look like he's been in a fight tomorrow, will Karami, as that nose has been busted up properly, that's for sure, as Luke Turner just continuing to pummel away. Shake out of the legs from Karami as he takes a deep breath and gets ready to go into battle once again. What a tough man he is. A word from the referee to break when he tells him to. Respectful touch of gloves, and the action resumes once again. Just a couple of shots from Karami, but no real intent or power in them, just clipping the side of Luke Turner. Luke Turner's head. And sometimes, you know, for Luke Turner here, as impressive as he is, it might be a matter of just tap, tap, tap and then load up, just to break that, because of course, if you know they're going to load it with every shot, you're tucking up and anticipating that. If you're just tapping away, or even switching the angle, or just, you know, a two-phase attack or something like that, just to, again, try and mix it up, and that element of surprise perhaps could get him out of there. But that said, I don't know, I think you could run him over, Karami, and he'd still be standing.
I think from the first bell it's been evident that Luke Turner hasn't respected the opponent in front of him. He would have been aware that Karami's only been stopped twice, and he went out to make a statement, and it's been evident that he's been trying very hard from the first round to do that, to hurt him. Maybe you're right, maybe he needs to be a little bit cuter with his work, maybe he needs to touch up, maybe try and get the openings, but that said, it has been very, very dominant. But I think it comes down to a respect thing. I don't think he's respected his opponent in there.
Not respected his power. Here we go then, sixth and final round as Luke Turner straight to work. Just plugging away at the body and then up to the head of Karami. He's trying to give some back as he just risks a bit of a defensive manoeuvre with no guard there and got away with it. Laboured shots from Karami at times, but then now and then he just manages to muster a big hook, doesn't he? And nothing to trouble Luke Turner, but still, credit to him that he's got that endeavour at this stage of what has been an incredibly tough 5 rounds prior. Turner again, working to the body and coming up with the backhand hook, and slamming round the side of the head of Karami. Just over a minute and a half remaining of this final round. Doubling up on the uppercut from Turner. Karami responds, but gets more in return as a response from Luke Turner. And understandably, both men showing signs of fatigue. You can understand that. They've invested an awful lot. Luke Turner in pummeling his man, and Karami taking the punishment. Mixing the shots up again now, Luke Turner. Nice work, sharp work, and that was a nice hook with that lead hand to the chin of Karami, but again, he takes it. Unbelievably tough. Luke Turner now just firing absolutely everything at Karami. Finishing this one just as furiously and strongly as he did from the first bell.
I've liked this from Luke Turner because throughout the fight every shot's been quite solid, single solid shots, but in this round he's going for it a little bit, he's putting his shots together.
It's been a superb performance from him, and as I said at the beginning, he looked in supreme condition at the weigh-in, and we've seen that on display here. Got the build of it, a little action man, hasn't he, Luke Turner? As he just cops for one there, but again continuing to come forward. Final couple of flurries before the final bell. And that was a real war for Karami, that was, and huge credit to him for getting through that first round, never mind the next 5 that were to come. And if Luke Turner didn't respect him before, he'll certainly respect him now, because he threw absolutely everything at the Iranian, and he's heard the final bell and he's taken the wear and tear from it. But goodness me, what a tough man.
What a tough man, and what a valuable 6 rounds there for Luke Turner. Luke Turner goes out there tonight and gets a first round victory. He doesn't learn from that fight. Tonight he had 6 good rounds there, tough rounds where he had to adapt his style in there a little bit. He had to look for shots, he had to change things up a little bit himself. But
and he didn't get frustrated, did he? Because sometimes when you throw in everything at an opponent and they just don't go anywhere, or you've had success in the first round, you can get greedy and go looking for it. He stuck to his task. Really, really impressive from the youngster from Warrington. Let's get the official announcement for our MC, Aki Kareem.
After 6 rounds of action, we go to referee Ryan Churchill's scorecard. It reads 60 points to 54 points in favour of your winner, Luke Turner.
Now there's lots of different boxes that need to be ticked for prospects. Sometimes it's dealing with power, dealing with hand speed, dealing with tricky opponents. Sometimes it's throwing everything at someone and you don't get them out of there. He passed that test because he continued relentlessly, Dan.
yeah, absolutely, Stacey. It's about ticking those boxes, and tonight he was in with someone who stood in front of him, who could take his power, although he was hurt, could take his power, stayed in there for the 6 rounds. And like what I said before, I think at the start of this fight, I think Luke Turner approached him where he didn't necessarily respect Karami's record or his ability, but at the end there'll be a lot of respect there, and a lot of respect for Karami's toughness. Absolutely dominant performance.
He's been in with some top quality opposition, and he's always come through it. He's only been stopped twice in 48 losses. He's a very, very tough man. You managed to wobble him in the first round, which is something that few fighters have done, but you never seemed to get frustrated. You were just relentless.
Yeah, he was a tough man. I did think I was going to get him out of there over 6 rounds, so a little bit disappointed not to get him out there, but good rounds in the bank against a tough operator.
Of course, we heard from Nick Ball before, your stablemate. What's it like to be part of Everton Red Triangle with, you know, so many fighters who've got big goals and they're so hungry? What's that environment like to be part of for you at this early stages of your pro career?
Yeah, I feel like I couldn't be in a better place at the minute to be starting off my pro career alongside people like Nick. So yeah, it's just going to push me on to be even better.
You fought in Liverpool twice. You're from Warrington, of course, and now here in Stoke. How important is that to be fighting on different shows in different places and building your fan base and platform?
Yeah, I just want to be as active as I can, so any shows that come up that I can get on, I'll jump on.
What is the ultimate goal for you? Have you got that in mind at this stage?
Yeah, world champion.
Brilliant, that's great to hear, and you're certainly in the right place to do it under the tutelage, of course, of Paul Stevenson. And what do you want to say to the people who've come to support you this evening?
Yeah, massive thank you to everyone who's come up on short notice. Appreciate the support. Love always.
It was a great performance. We really enjoyed it, and it did take a battering, but certainly you're going to be a handful for absolutely anybody. So we can't wait to see you out again. And well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our main event of the evening. 6 rounds of boxing sanctioned in the lightweight division. Please welcome into the ring first from Sheffield, Yorkshire, Owen Harry Potter Durnan.
Most famously, Owen Durnan tonight though, called Harry Potter because he usually wears glasses. He's known as the boxing geek. He does look a bit like Harry Potter, he says. He does have a look at it outside the ring with his glasses on. But he's anything but a geek once he steps in that ring.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent from Manchester, Zelfa, the Flash Barrett.
Zelfa Barrett then, the 33-year-old from Manchester, nephew of Pat Barrett, the promoter of course this evening, Black Flash Promotions. Coached by his uncle Pat Barrett until he switched last year to link up with Joe Gallagher and Champs Camp. He's had some real ups and downs, tonight being one of them. Was meant to fight for a title tonight, but he'll just be delighted that he still gets to fight after putting in a full camp.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event of the evening, presented to you by Pat Barrett and Black Flash Promotions. We are live on Black Flash Promotions YouTube channel for this contest, 6 rounds sanctioned in the lightweight division. We are partnered this evening with Cooney Installations, Manchester Joinery and 4 Corners. And your officials for this contest. Your timekeeper at ringside will be Jason Booth, and your referee in charge of the action is A-star referee Kevin Parker. And now let's meet the boxers. Introducing to you first, he fights out of the red corner. He wears the purple shorts and he weighed in at 151.9 pounds. He has 60 professional contests to his name, and he comes to us from Sheffield, Yorkshire. Please welcome Owen Harry Potter Durnan. And his opponent across the ring fights out of the blue corner. He wears the black and pink and he weighed in at 145.9 pounds. He comes to the ring with 34 wins against 3 defeats, with 18 big wins coming by way of knockout. Presenting to you the former English champion, former Commonwealth champion, former IBF International champion, former EBU European champion, and the former world title challenger from Manchester. Here is Zelfa, the Flash Barrett.
Zelfa. Gents, you both know the rules. I expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Zelfa Barrett then in black and pink, fighting out of the blue corner as he just gets a hug from his coach Joe Gallagher. Facing Owen Durnan in the purple, with the black waistband fighting out of the red corner. Great character is Owen Durnan. Originally set to face Jack Holliston tonight. Found himself top of the bill against Zelfa Barrett, so that's some adjustment for him to make. He boxes out of the tight guard in the southpaw stance. Zelfa Barrett's had an adjustment to make, as we mentioned earlier, was due to fight for a title this evening. It wasn't to be in the end due to visa issues for his opponent. Those will be resolved, and hopefully that one can be rescheduled. But for now, 6 rounds ahead of him. This one in the welterweight division. He's coming off 3 wins, which followed that defeat last February to Jazza Dickens at the Co-op Live. That was on the Catterall and Barboza undercard. Those 3 wins since brought confidence into what would have been another title opportunity for him this evening. And as your MC announced, Aki Karim tonight, plenty of silverware that Zelfa Barrett has managed to gain for himself, and plenty of ups and downs that he's faced. That can often be the case for a boxer on their journey. 33 years old now and been at it a long time, and those inevitable ups and downs happen, Dan. It's how you face them, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zelfa's at the stage of his career where he's at the sweet spot of his career. I think he's had the experience, he's had the ups, he's had the downs, and I think he's a seasoned fighter now, and I think he is ready to push on to the next level.
He's always had that really composed style, doesn't he, where it appears to be in control, but at any moment, like a coiled spring, it can pounce, and he has real knockout power. 18 stoppages of his 34 wins. Got that really impressive stoppage against Jordan Gill, of course, in April of 2024. You know what he's capable of, and Durnan will be fully aware of that as well. He's just finding his range and getting his eye in here, Zelfa. Taking his time. Nice, neat, precise work from Barrett.
Yeah, Zelfa started his career with his uncle Pat, and he's had a really, really good education. He moved to Joe Gallagher not too long ago. I know Joe doesn't want to change, he wants to fine-tune him, and part of that is trying to get Zelfa on the front foot a little bit more and not coming out of range as much. And you can sort of see that with how Zelfa started. He's very much on the front foot, he's keeping Durnan on the back foot.
It's good sometimes that change. Talking to him at, I think we're at Bolton for one of the shows, and he was ringside and we were chatting about the move, and he said, you know, I've been skipping in exactly the same spot for all these years since I was a kid, and sometimes you just do, nothing wrong with what Pat was doing with him, but sometimes you just need that change of environment, go out of your comfort zone a little bit, be around different stable mates, and it's a big decision to make, and huge credit to him for doing that at this stage of his career, because obviously, you know, his goal is to be world champion, isn't it? And his mum sadly passed away in 2021, and you know, becoming a world champion is a huge motivation for him to make her proud, and that's his goal, to succeed in that endeavour, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think he's got the ability for it. I think, like I say, he's a seasoned fighter. He come close in the past. But when I was speaking to Joe Gallagher and I was watching Zelfa in the gym, what I was pleased about is they're not looking to change him. It's about fine-tuning him. Because Zelfa, like you said, Stacey, he's a very good boxer. He's very pleasing on the eye. He's good to watch, but he's got all the attributes to take him to that world title. It's just about getting him the right fights at the right time. And I think tonight he's obviously had the disappointment of the fight falling through. He just needs to stay focused now. Because I think for Zelfa tonight, it's just about getting the rounds in the bank.
Round 2.
And that's another factor of this, of course, for any sports person. The challenges and the obstacles within your sport, but then also the things that life throws at you. As we said, the loss of his mum, of course, devastating for Zelfa. But again, those challenges outside the ring have served as motivation for him to succeed in his goals. You just see those trademark jerky movements of Barrett, just trying to elicit a response from Durnan to create an opening. 25-year-old from Sheffield, really popular character. Not been stopped in his 54 losses. He's had 14 already this year, so very busy, stays active. took up boxing after being bullied at school. And had a few Yorkshire titles as an amateur and was a national finalist before turning pro at the age of 21 as well. So, and he's had his own battles. Survived cancer as well. Hodgkin's lymphoma that was detected during a dental appointment, and here he is plying his trade as a professional boxer. So yet another remarkable story from our sport, and there are plenty of them. He's just trying to work off the back foot, and this is wise from Dernan, isn't he? He's not falling for any of the feints or the movements from Barrett. He's just tucking up and just being cautious, and again just closing down the space there, just ducking under and stepping in, but Barrett just firing in a shot to test the water there.
Yeah, I think Dernan's going to look to frustrate Zelfa here. I don't think he's going to look to open up too much, because Zelfa's very much on the front foot. He's pushing him back, but Zelfa's looking for lead so he can counter, and maybe a little bit frustrated there for Zelfa. He's feinting a lot. He's feinting with his hands and his feet. He's desperately trying to find those openings.
I thought Gavin Gwynn last year did Owen Dernan in between those two intense clashes with Cameron Vuong, and applied himself really well here, considering that it's been very short notice for him to prepare for Zelfa Barrett, who's a very different proposition from his original opponent who we saw earlier this evening in Jack Holston.
Zelfa's just got to be careful that it doesn't fall into Dernan's rhythm and tempo of the fight. He needs to fight his own fight. Dernan will be looking to slow it down a little bit, spoil it.
Just those twitchy, jerky movements from Zelfa Barrett as he's just poking and prodding and trying to find the openings. Of course, we've really enjoyed the action here at King's Hall in Stoke this evening. More action from Middleton Arena on Black Flash Promotions. That one will be taking place on Saturday, the 8th of August. So tickets available now to support all of these upcoming prospects. I'm just trying to find their way and get the opportunities to achieve their goals. So Saturday the 8th of August at Middleton Arena, Ignition. But tonight, been a great night of boxing, plenty for the fans to enjoy as we into the third of 6 here for Zelfa Barrett and Owen Dernan. Unleashed, and we have seen plenty of unleashing, I think, in these contests. This one a little bit more steady in terms of the frenetic pace and intensity we've seen from some of the others, but that's typical of the way that Zelfa Barrett controls the pace of contests, as he just stamps that front foot again, just trying to feint and draw something from Dernan, but so far not been drawn in, just fighting out of that southpaw stance in his purple shorts as he just attempts a lead hand and falls short. Barrett just looping that uppercut towards the midriff of Dernan, just backs him up. Nice 1-2, and then switches his feet and rips that shot up the middle again.
Yeah, I think at times it's been quite a cagey affair, but I think Dernan's been reluctant to commit because he knows Zelfa's looking for those openings, looking to counter him. But this round, I think we've seen a lot more intent from Zelfa. He's looking to put his shots together.
Minute and a half to go. Neat, precise work from Barrett. It just takes a little clip from Dernan there, little smile in recognition. sometimes we see that Philly shell style defence from Durnan. We haven't seen it so far this evening, and that tells you that he's not been comfortable to take that risk, because although Zelfa likes it at his own pace, as I say, he can really explode and whip shots in. As I say, we saw the stoppage of Jordan Gill, and he can cause a lot of damage to the body and upstairs as well, for that matter. So you have to stay switched on. Keeps you thinking all the time, doesn't he? Because he's constantly in front of you. He's always looking, isn't he? Just trying to find the openings, just those jerky, twitchy movements, just ready to pounce. Little stamp again of that front foot.
He doesn't allow you to switch off, Zelfa. Like you say, he's in front of you, he's jerky movements, he's always moving. You can't switch off.
He just
for a
springs
moment.
into action like that, doesn't he? And Durnan did well just to use his feet to get away from the ropes there. And it can be difficult mentally, can't it? When you've been preparing for all of those weeks for a title fight, which he's had an awful long wait. You know, he had that loss against Jazza Dickens. He's had the 3 wins since then, building back up, adjusting to working in a new environment with a new trainer, gets a title opportunity, and then it's taken out of his hands, what, 48 hours before. Sakiru Shogbesan of Nigeria, he was meant to face, and he had visa issues, so it wasn't to happen. But that's what happens sometimes, and then you've got to be able to make that adjustment, keep that adrenaline going, and put on a good performance against a man you weren't preparing to face for half the rounds and no title. But he's been long in the game and he's professional enough to make the adjustments, Zelfa, and it's a clean, precise, neat performance from him this evening so far.
Second out. Round 4.
Yeah, I think sometimes when an opponent drops out a title fight and you're still on the bill, sometimes you can see a flat performance from the fighters. But I think Zelfa tonight has stayed switched on, like he says. He's been quite sharp, but like we said at the start, he's a seasoned fighter now. Zelfa, he's been about the sport a long time. He's seen the ups and downs. He knows what the sport's about, and he's
been part of those big fight nights as well, hasn't he? In the big arenas where there's huge fights and world title fights top of the bill. He's been in a world title fight himself, and once you've been there, you want to get back there. And at 33 years old, you want to get back there as quickly as possible and get another chance to realise that dream of becoming world champion. Again, nice sharp work from Zelfa Barrett as he pushes Durnan back. And then again, like a coiled spring, just fires into action, and didn't quite land with that attempt, but back under control again now, just prodding and probing.
Durnan's doing a good job in there. He's making it a cagey affair. He's moving when he needs to move. He's not committing to any shots.
He's savvy defensively, isn't he?
Yeah.
You can see there he's got the vantage point of centre ring, but doesn't want to take it to Zelfa, and that's probably smart too, you would think. No need to take any unnecessary risks when this is your livelihood, of course. And as I say, he's a very busy man.
Zelfa's such a nice fighter to watch. He's very fluid, isn't he?
He's technically very, very sound, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 outings already, Owen Durnan, this year, and we're only in July. So that's a man who does well not to take any risks and take the purse instead. Smart indeed. Zelfa just trying to change the angle, just stepping across. Couldn't create an opening, but the endeavour's there. Sometimes you have to try things a couple of times, Dan, don't you? And then third, fourth attempt, that opening might be there and you can capitalise on it. Nice counter there. Just slipped that jab of Durnan and fired in the backhand. Like picking a lock almost, isn't it? We've had bulldozers tonight. We've had people marauding forward, but skillful performance, as we've come to expect from Zelfa Barrett. But that power is a constant threat.
Look, I like the approach from Zelfa. He's not gone in there and tried to bulldoze his way. You talk about picking a lock, and that's the right approach against someone like Dernan, someone very, very experienced. Zelfa could have went in, and obviously there's a massive gulf in class, and he could have just went in and tried to get himself a first round stoppage, but he's not done that. He's given us an exhibition of his skills out there. He's jabbed well, he's moved well, he's feinted well, and I think Dernan's played his part as well. He's been cagey, he's been, like what you said, defensively quite savvy, and he's not allowed Zelfa to land the attacks that he wants to land, but Zelfa's kept his patience, he's not panicked, he's not rushed it.
Orders, 10 seconds. Seconds out. Round 5.
Referee Kevin Parker made his way over to the red corner to have a lengthy chat with Owen Dernan there. I don't know what that was about because I couldn't hear, but had a word anyway. Zelfa just snapping his shots out nice and sharp. Always maintaining that range and that distance. Just holds his feet really well, doesn't he? And not really allowed Owen Dernan much of a look in as he just doubles up on that jab. Nice work from Zelfa there, just switching the angle and changing the angle of attack. Put a bit more purchase on that backhand there, Zelfa Barrett, just slamming it into the left-hand side of Dernan's head. He felt that one a little shake-off afterwards, but not troubled him too much as he just retreats again with that tight guard, back against the ropes and then shifts off. Zelfa cutting the ring off in pursuit again, just stepping across and tapping away, just trying to fashion an opening. Doesn't fall in Zelfa either, does he? He's got a really good balance beneath him.
Yeah, very good balance. And what I like about Zelfa is he doesn't try to put too much power into his shots. He's a very, very sharp puncher, but he's mixing it up. So he's tapping, and then when it's time to throw the sharp shots, he throws the sharp shots. But Dernan's doing really well because he's moving his feet back, he's leaning back, he's just taking the sting out of the shots and making Zelfa miss a little bit here. But Zelfa's doing a good job. What's impressive about Zelfa is he's not getting frustrated. He's not losing his head. He's staying composed. He's staying focused. Look, I don't think this is a fight where Zelfa Barrett's going to learn anything. But what I think it gives him momentum. It gets him out. Keeps him
and that's
busy.
the thing about this one, wasn't it? You know, he's not in learning fights anymore, is he? He's wanting to get back to the level of title contention, which was what tonight was meant to be. There was the IBO International lightweight title on the line. So tonight's more about him still being able to fight when he's put in a camp, he's putting all of that training, and fair play to Dernan for stepping up for the late change to face Zelfa. And now that's what tonight's about, really, is it getting those rounds up, keeping momentum, and hopefully that title shot will come up again. Hugely disappointing for him and for all the fans and for Black Flash Promotions. And that's sometimes the way it goes in boxing, but the main thing is staying active, and at least he's got a run out tonight. Boxing well within himself, showcasing his skills, and continuing to prepare for what's to come.
Yeah, and although I don't think it's a fight he'll learn from, there will be things he'll be working on in there. I know Joe's very keen to improve Zelfa's positioning and his distance control, and I think he's doing that quite well in there tonight.
Controlling the distance with that jab, just firing it out there. Zelfa Barrett. Dernan continuing just to tuck up with that tight guard, just playing peekaboo. Those gloves stuck to either side of his temples. Back to the ropes again, then shifts off the ropes and attempt at a body shot from him, but quick counters from Zelfa Barrett. Firing in that backhand round the side, just mixing up his shots now, Zelfa Barrett. Continuing to look for the openings. Just sometimes, Dan, the tiniest jerky movements can just make your opponent just react. And you can respond, but in fairness to Owen Dernan, he's not presented him with that many opportunities, has he?
No, Dernan's fought a good fight here.
He's really had to find the gaps, hasn't he? They haven't been presented to him. And any success that Zelfa Barrett's had here, which has been plenty, he's had to fashion for himself.
Yeah, Dernan's been quite smart with his positioning on the back foot, but equally I think Zelfa's cut the ring off really well. I think he's jabbed well.
As we said, he's a real neat, tidy, technical boxer, Zelfa Barrett, isn't he? But there we see those shots when he whips them in, they're really damaging. And he sets his feet and gets the whip on the shots. They can be really hurtful, that's for sure. But Dernan again, just tucking up on the retreat. Steady performance from Zelfa Barrett. We never expected him to be out of his comfort zone, but been able to showcase his technical ability and got those rounds under his belt, which is important after all of that training. And of course, we'll hear from him afterwards. I think it's going to be our MC Aki Karim who'll be talking to him afterwards, and we'll see what the plan is, given that, of course, he was supposed to fight for the IBO International this evening. Let's hope that will be back on the card soon, but a good solid performance from Zelfa Barrett, and hopefully the things that he and Joe Gallagher have been working on in the gym, he's been able to showcase this evening, and they'll be happy with his progress in terms of them working together and that link up from last year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation for both boxers. And the switch around to boxing, we go to the head part of the scorecard. It reached 60 points to 54 points in favour of your winner from Manchester, Zelfa, the Black Barrett.
So certainly not what he will have hoped for this evening. He was hoping to leave Kings Hall with a title, the IBO International Lightweight title. It wasn't meant to be due to visa issues with his opponent. So 6th round under his belt with Owen Durnan, another opportunity to work on what he's been working with trainer Joe Gallagher, who we linked up with last year. So not all is lost, as he had the opportunity to get those rounds under his belt. But this is all about what comes next, and we'll hear what is next when he talks in the ring now to your MC this evening, Aki Karim.
Okay, I'm here with Zelfa the Flash Barrett. Zelfa, look, first thing, with respect to Owen Durnan, he come in at very short notice to fight you because you were scheduled for a title fight this evening against a tough African opposition. Unfortunately, you found out with a day or 2 days notice he couldn't get over it because of some visa issues, so you must have been disappointed.
Yeah, man, I was disappointed, but I knew Uncle Pat and the main manager over there would sort it out. There's two Joes. He's Joe's senior legend. He's Joe up and coming. But yeah, so it's good just to get the rounds out and just really just off the cobwebs. You know, I'm not boxing since November, so we're kicking, no knockouts, no nothing. It's just good to, you know, exercise the things that me and Joe have been working on.
I mean, I could tell you were looking to get some rounds, maybe work on a few things that you and Joe have been putting into practice. Your poise and your form was fantastic. So was that the plan with Joe, to work on some specifics?
Yeah, of course. If you could hear Joe in the corner, I was just listening to what he was saying. The certain shots, reverse jab, straights, up the middle, the scoop. He was where he could hear it, so he was blocking. You know, good just to get the rounds out, really.
Yeah, and you know, got to say, you know, you put in a really hard camp for this opponent for your title fight, but you had to readjust at the last minute. But at the end of the day, it's great that Black Flash carried on with the show. It's great that Joe and Pat kept it going, because you're back out again, aren't you? You're keeping active.
Yeah, man. Thanks to, I call him Joe Jr. and Uncle Pat, you know, for putting me on their platform and getting me out. You know, I needed to get out. I couldn't jump into a big fight, not fighting. So, you know, I really appreciate it, and you know, big things are coming. You know, we'll find out this week. You know, so headline in Manchester, we've got a great opponent, so everybody will be there, man.
We can't say the opponent or anything just yet.
No, not just yet. You know, when it comes out, then.
Well, that's great, because it shows that, you know, tonight no cuts, no injuries. You know, you got the 6 rounds done, and you know, you're out there. The next announcement we'll get from you and your camp will be a big announcement for a headlining bout in Manchester. And it is a good opponent, so it's going to be fireworks for the fans, isn't it? Yeah,
of course, man. It was good just to get the rounds out. You know, he was a slippery customer. Was kind of negative, didn't really throw, didn't really want to know. So, you know, I've done what I had to do. I'm professional. You know, got the rounds out. But big shout out to Uncle P. You know, he started.
Whose birthday is on Wednesday? So happy birthday, Pat. 20 something again.
Like that, but yeah, it's only 35. And big thank you to Joe Legend, I really appreciate it. And big thank you to Joe Jr., I really appreciate it too, man.
You've been part of 2 of the most iconic gyms in Manchester, Colliers and Moston Boxing Gym, Champs Camp, Moss Side. And you know, you've soaked that in from the 2 fantastic coaches that you work with. And is this all going to come to fruition when you get back onto that big stage?
Yeah, of course, man. I've had the best of both worlds. And what Joe Legend is saying, he will say, you know what I mean? And it's like, they speak all the time because they say the same things. So, yeah, man, I'm lucky to have the best of both worlds, you know, so I'm lucky, man.
Fantastic. Well, look, well done tonight. I know it wasn't exactly the camp the fight you guys expected for the camp, but you did what you had to do. You got 6 rounds out, and no injuries, no niggles. And the next message you'll hear from Zelf will be about a very big fight coming your way in Manchester, headlining on the MF Pro. Anything you want to say finally?
Thank you for everyone who come out, and I appreciate Black Flash Promotions and Joe Legend and Georgie and Uncle Pat. I'm wearing your 10 apples.
All right, nice one. Zelf about everybody. Well done.
Well, we can't wait to hear what that news is, and of course you can follow it across Black Flash Promotions socials to find out what that big announcement is. Speaking of which, the next time that you can follow the fighters in action on Black Flash Promotions platform will be Ignition, Saturday the 8th of August at Middleton Arena. Tickets are available, so make your way over to Black Flash Promotions on Instagram to find out more. find out the running order, the fight card, who you can go and support, and tickets are available. That's all from us though for this evening from here in King's Hall in Stoke. Thank you so much to Dan Murray, who's been alongside me, Stacey Copeland. Thank you to our entire team who's made tonight possible. And we'll see you on Saturday the 8th of August, Middleton Arena for Ignition. Bye for now.